Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Master Random, the podcast. I'm your host, Boo Ada. And before we get into the episode with Kin, a couple of things. Number one, go out and vote. If you're listening to this as it's being released, today, Friday, October 30th, is the last day for early voting. But it's not the last day to vote. The last day to vote is on election day. So early voting ends today. On Tuesday is your next available day to vote. And it's important that you go and exercise that right to vote as a citizen of this island. If we get a low voter turnout this year, it's not really representative of the people no longer. It may be more representative of a certain particular group, party, whatever it may be. We want it to be representative of the people. So go out and vote, go and exercise that right, do us all a solid, and don't let this pandemic deter you from exercising that right. Yes, we want to be safe. There are safe ways to do it. You go to the Guam Election Commission, you can actually call them to schedule an appointment, or you can go and do a drive up. I'm not too sure if they're going to be having that on election day, but there are going to be polling stations on election day wherever your district is at. That's where you go and vote. Number two, there's a couple things under number two. The first part, we haven't done an on-site podcast in a while, and we had the opportunity to do so at Hamamoto Fruit World. Thanks to Melker Manabus, and Kin actually set it up, and it was cool. It was awesome. We were supposed to do an outdoor podcast, no masks, but it ended up pouring rain, so we ended up doing the podcast indoors with masks. Never done the podcast with the mask. I have an athletic mask made by a very popular brand, and It helped. It worked. I didn't have the whole sucking and breathing and stuff like that. So we'll see how future podcasts go as far as having it indoors and having people. It's hard, I want to trust people, but it's tricky, right? So we can't just test people on the way in. We don't have that kind of flow. So that was cool. It was fun to do on location. We haven't done one since episode 200 and Kick the Fat episode, but this is the first time we actually did video for the podcast. So part B is, this is the very first time that I've shared my political views and ideals on the podcast. I normally don't do that at all. So this episode was recorded 3 weeks ago. It's not the reason why I haven't released this episode. But did I feel uncomfortable doing it? There was a little bit of discomfort, but it's just because it's not because I don't believe or I don't want to share what I believe in. It's more that I've never done it before. So it gets tricky. It gets tricky with this podcast, just because I've never had expressed certain views. I've had people who have political backgrounds or are sort of political thought in nature, but Kin is possibly, I'm not going to say the most extreme, but the most outspoken about things that he believes in, about things that's going on. My understanding of politics is more on the Guam side, Guam politics. I've been around politics since I moved back home in 2010, and and my understanding of it is not to the depth of a lot of people again, but I have some knowledge on local politics. Now, for American politics, in this podcast, it gets a little tricky. My understanding of American politics is not, I'm not going to try and explain myself in depth. I'm just going to say it's not as in depth as Kin. This was a really, really fun episode. As far as things that were said, we do jump around a lot and don't really focus on any one thing in particular, but we do touch on a lot of things. And I really hope you enjoy this episode, because I did, and I'm sure you will too. So let's jump into it. So my next guest on the show is Joaquin Pangelinan. He is the assistant event coordinator for Submit International, video marketing for Brawl, and video marketing for the Electric Island Festival. And also, if you follow him on social media, he is very outspoken on his political views and beliefs over the last year, and he talks all about it in this episode. And you know, maybe it rubs people the wrong way, but he just gives no fucks about what you think about him and how he's expressing himself, right? Which is pretty awesome, because not a lot of us, and including me, right, is kind of the reason why I haven't expressed political views or beliefs on the podcast. Honestly, I don't even know how much I've expressed it in this podcast, but there is a certain level that I did. So just kudos to him in that respect, because there's, as he mentioned, a large silent minority of people who have particular beliefs, because the state of society that we are in, and this whole cancel culture and people ridiculing other people online because of things that they post or things that they say. This is the kind of world we live in, where people are forced to, I'd rather not say it than have to deal with your ass kind of deal. That's what it boils down to. So anyways, have fun with this episode. Enjoy it. Listen to it. You know, if it makes you angry, if it makes you happy, if it makes you sad, this is what these podcasts are here for. To stir up some emotion, to stir up thought, so we can continue to progress and move forward in our minds. So, enjoy this episode with Joaquin Pangelinan on Master Random. Check it out. Bro, thank you for first setting all this up. You know, doing it in my studio right now is kind of tricky, and so just for you to provide this space, Melker, for you to allow us to have this space, but you can setting it up, dude. Yeah, way to make it happen. We're supposed to do this outdoors, right?
Outdoors first, but we're supposed to do this September 9th on our birthdays.
That's right.
Happy belated.
Thank you. Happy belated to you.
It was good to be 30. A few days after I turned 30, my back was starting to hurt a little bit. So, you know, I was like, fuck.
I felt the same crooks and nooks of my body making those same fucking noises, like, oh my gosh. But yeah, dude.
You do like the back stretch where it's like, you know, oh, it's good though. You know,
dude, I do a little bit of it, either an extra exercise or a longer of a little bit of exercises, but you just have to get in that fucking that extra stretching to start your day every day. And,
definitely.
But yeah, dude, we've been trying to set this podcast up for like a couple weeks, going on 3 weeks, right? Since our birthday. And so much shit has happened in the last 3 weeks.
The first week after our birthday, RBG passed away. Yeah. After that, it was just leading up to the debates, and now Trump has COVID and shit.
What do we do about this, right? It's where do you even start? And I think where I would like to start is where are conversations, just because this is our first time like sitting down, actually having a full blown conversation, but most of our conversations have happened like online,
direct messages
right?
online.
In DMs, and like you'll post something, I post something, and all of a sudden we go down this rabbit hole of thought.
Yeah, definitely like potential occurrences. It's a bunch of things like that, you know. Like I feel like there's somewhat of a trend to things, you know. You see one side act a certain way, the other side responds. Like you can kind of predict how certain things will be responded to, you know.
Right. When did this all come? I guess when did you start paying attention?
I think it was, man, to be completely fucking honest.
Because before you go, I just want to say my understanding of politics is only like local politics, but trying to understand U.S. politics, it's
a whole different ballgame.
Man, dude, I think I'm just like a surface level of understanding.
Definitely, we're in the fucking we're in the nosebleeds in the stadium, and we're just freaking trying to squint and look down in it, and we're like, what did he say? Something.
And we're getting information that's filtered. We're getting information that's biased, right? So I guess going back, when did you start paying attention?
So I think it's more of a, when did I really start to care, right, and put my energy into this? So obviously, like COVID lockdowns happened in like March, like after March, and we're sitting there like, you know, everyone's just kind of wondering, okay, you know, 14 days to stop the spread or something like that, and then just keeps on going on and on and on. But you know, at that point, I'm not really complaining because I'm a gamer, so I like the game, and just I was in my environment, you know, just sitting at home playing Apex Legends and stuff like that with some friends. But going to where I initially was like, man, fuck this, I'm gonna study this shit, is when George Floyd got murdered by that bitch ass Chauvin, dude. Like, let me get this straight. Like, you know, there's problems with cops and stuff like that, but they're not all bad. But that guy made me fucking pissed, bro. But looking at the other level, the reason why I dwelled into this was because I said all lives matter, and then one of my best friends called me a racist, and I was like, whoa, bro. Like one of my best closest friends, bro, called me a racist, and I was like, man, dude, like, are you fucking serious? Like, you know, then I was like, through everything, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna fucking learn about everything now. And like, I don't want anyone to ever tell me that I don't know like enough information, that, you know, like you should study this more, or blah, 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 like stuff like that. And I was like, man, like, it's better than just sitting on my ass and playing fucking video games and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Bro. So that happened, and hold up, let me get my train of thought here. It was more so like I needed to understand like how like these issues were happening. And
what was your level of understanding before that?
Before that was that, man, like racism does exist and a lot of things like that, but like, you know, like a lot of the shit gets whitewashed by the media, you know. Obviously in that situation it wasn't, you know, that was a horrible fucking act, and I condemn like all those kinds of acts. And you know, as with every establishment, there's bad eggs. You know, every single establishment has bad eggs, but you know, you can't just take a whole stance on an entity of people because of one bad egg. You know, so when the defund the police movement happened and everything like that, it was more of like, I understood why they feel like they needed to do that, because I can empathize with some people, like how they've taught me their rhetoric, where it was a good friend of mine, Nate Respicio from Seattle, right? So he goes, man, like these guys, like they can't just be walking around with military gear and shit like that, you know? Like I feel like that really gives a really a bad
like a military state,
kind of, you know, and like
reaction from the people.
Definitely. And I feel like out there, like it's very spread out, because on the West Coast you have like
police state. Police state.
The West Coast has like a lot of these random pullovers on the highway and shit like that never really gets attention. And it is fucked up, bro. There's fucked up cops out there, bro. I honestly gotta say that, man. But like in the grand scheme of things, I really feel like reform is a lot more of a humane approach to this, and a lot more important way to like put this movement versus defunding completely. Because man, if you completely defund, then it's hard to train these officers, you know, and make them better and make them act in line, make them more in tune with the communities, you know, so you can be trusted as a police officer, right? You know, stuff like that. But that's really how I got into it. And I was like, now, since then, me and him have made up and we're completely fine now, right? But then it was just like that initial part where I was called something, and
did it make you angry or something? Cause
it made me completely angry, bro.
Because when I guess you're going from a social aspect, and I was thinking like when did you start paying attention to like what government's doing, right? And what the party system is all about, right? But it seems like it is stemming for you from a social aspect, right? Completely. Because I had a conversation with Pete Kimball about what happened when he was out there when the pandemic hit, and then when George Floyd happened, right? So, and he was directly affected, but I told him here, I said, here on Guam, it's hard for us to, people are wondering like, how come you're not reacting to this like as you should be? And it's like, well, it's not, we don't see it happening here right in front of our eyes.
Definitely.
That's sort of like that disconnect, as connected we are to the world through the internet, digitally, physically, we're not feeling what the rest of the world's feeling.
Definitely, man. There's definitely some disconnect there, but all in all, I feel it's like really detrimental to think that we can't have an opinion based off of the predicate that we're not there.
Well, same thing I asked Pete, like, do you think what we do or say can have an effect, right? Does it really make a significant impact in any way?
Well, first off, when they were saying that, oh, like you're off island, like you don't really see this happening, and then boom, you got all these other countries like joining the movement, and stuff for like, like it's crazy because like when I saw it happening in England, it's like, dude, these cops don't have guns, man. Like most of the time, the cops get fucked,
right?
Bro. And like I was in London in 2016. God bless Raj Darinani for taking us over there and everything like that. It was for a Europe trip, but like when you're there, like we literally saw the cops have like little like whatever, the batons and shit like that. Like, dude, we can roll over these cops if like we wanted to, Seriously, it's crazy. But then like, you have to respect the movements, and where I really see like the movement being a true movement happening like this, of course, like the BLM movement, the slogan is such a right thing, like, but it got hijacked by radicals, man.
The idea behind it
definitely
became skewed completely.
Yeah, hijacked for sure, man. I mean, like, you can support it and I don't get mad at people that
like,
support.
dude, from the get-go, you couldn't even tell what was going on anymore, right? It's like, okay, who's rioting? Wait, are they trying to trick people?
Bro, it's crazy because that's when like it was hardcore, like COVID times, like when the death tolls were rising, back then. And then you just see a picture of a drone shot in LA from freaking complex of 30,000 people in a single street. Like that didn't have no COVID implications because the doctors at that time were saying that it's okay to go out in groups if you're protesting against racism. And like for me to have an opinion on that would be me being...
Is that a real thing?
To be honest, that did happen, bro.
Did they really say that?
They really did say that, bro. Honestly, I swear
that it's okay to go protest
if you're going for racial injustice. If you're protesting against racial injustice,
COVID don't affect you.
Yeah. So it was like, man, it's like I'm trying my hardest just to like, empathize here, like with them going out there and, like saying like, oh, it's okay because blah, blah, blah. Like we're protesting racial justice. So Israel Adesanya actually said this too. He said, and I quote, like, if they're more worried about me getting sick versus black people getting killed, then, then fuck the system or something like that, bro. Israel Adesanya said that. And I have a lot of pride with him, and I love his mantras, bro. And I like to live like, I don't want to say like I'm a super fanboy, but I like the way he carries himself, bro. Where he's just like no bullshit, like straight up in this, like, okay, fuck around, we'll fuck you up, kind of shit, bro.
Right, go ahead, talk your shit.
And then
we got something coming for you.
He literally fucked Costa, bro. It's crazy.
He did, bro. He did, and he did exactly what I thought he was gonna do. Just pick him to pieces. And it makes sense why Romero didn't want to fight him
like
right?
that, bro.
Like, legit.
Did no commitment, bro. There, bro. He's waiting for Adesanya.
You can't just rampage a guy like that, right?
I feel like Romero's more of a counter guy though, too. Counter fighter.
Is that why he didn't like really?
Well, like if you watch most of his fights, he is always kind of like waiting there, and then he just like a flurry, and you're knocked out, or you're gashed, bro, like completely, man. But like going back to like
before we go completely off topic,
bro, it's going back into the social, like the implications of protesting and COVID, like
because social. Well, before I let me interrupt.
No problem.
Before social, this whole social thing came about, this thing has been ongoing, right? So it seems like it's just been like bubbling under the surface, and it just took one, because George Floyd wasn't the first
not at all.
black guy in 2020 to get murdered, right? I mean, that's kind of safe to say based on the statistics. I'm sure.
I believe like nine people died this like last year, 2019. I'm not too sure the exact number, but it was less than 15, if I'm not mistaken.
What I was trying to figure out is, and before I made myself, I even did a blackout like a blackout podcast in you know, like in remembrance of what happened to these people who experience racial injustices, right, is the word I'm looking for. And it took me a while to do that episode because I wanted to first understand what was going on and why it was happening, and why is the George Floyd situation the pinnacle of it. Like, what caused it to just blow?
You know, initially when that happened, I literally said to a good friend of mine, I was like, this is going to be the Rosa Parks of our fucking generation, bro. And then she was like, no, it's not that significant, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, bro, like all of these fucking shit starting popping up. And you know, there are some, like, as much as I feel where the evidence comes out which exonerates the cops, there are some real ones, bro. Like that one where is the kid Trayvon or something like that. It was
Trayvon Martin.
No. That's it was that one with the violin. Was Trayvon Martin the one with the violin?
No. That was the kid in Colorado.
Yeah,
right?
dude, those cops were fucked up, bro. Like, check this out. They fucking killed the kid. They went back to the fucking scene of the crime and took a fucking selfie there, smiling, dude. Like, fuck those cops, dog. Yeah. Bro, man, that fucking pissed me off when I saw that, bro. By the way, I'm not nervous anymore. Girls, I'm like, ooh, it's done, baby. Ooh, it's over, bro. So I feel good, man. Now, definitely. Initially, I was just like, fuck, man. What am I gonna say? What's gonna fucking come out that I'm gonna regret later?
Well, I mean, you know, it's like, it's hard for people to be outspoken these days, right? And because whatever you say, it's gonna come back tenfold, right? And it's how you're able to like dodge the bullets or handle the situation of something that you may have posted. Yeah. Right. And like, dude, those things are like as good as like it bonds together everything that they're like, you posted that's you. Yeah. Definitely. And we're gonna crucify you.
Yeah, definitely. Right? I've had a few of those, trust me, bro. That's one of the reasons why, like, I guess I was kind of profiled, you know, as in like, oh, this guy's blah 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 blah. But it's like, hey man, what about all those times that I hooked you up, dude? You know, stuff like that, bro. It's like, come on, man, I was so nice to you, bro. You know? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Bro. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you can judge me based off of that, but like at the end of the day, like I feel like people really see me for who I am. Yeah. You know, I feel like I'm a generous guy.
I mean, it seems easier to be straight up and just take the backlash that may come with it, right? Because it's not the most popular of things to have a different view than the world view. What's becoming the one world view, real, right? The thing that those who control everything wants to happen.
I feel like we're kind of living like somewhat of a dystopia right now, bro. Like, honestly, I get a dystopia, if I'm not mistaken. It's like we're like one side has like a certain view of the world. If I don't know the exact definition, don't quote me on that, but like, you know, like some people like
pull that up, man.
Yeah, dystopia. So like it's like, man, you want to like try to like provide a different rhetoric for some people, but they're so glued to that, like they'll die on the hill, as they say, right? And it's like, man, I'm trying to catch you, bro, because you know, like some things are like, you know, were blatantly false, you know, and it's like, man, bro, like let's just give one example, right, before we go too far. It's like when the media keeps quoting Trump on Charlottesville for not condemning neo-Nazis and white supremacists, but they literally cut the fucking clip only to right before he says it.
Right before he says, and then I condemn the neo-Nazis,
right where he says, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists because they should be condemned. Right. Like, he literally says it, and they refuse to pull it out. And during the debate, fucking bitch ass Chris Wallace fucking pulls that up, and he knows that fucking Trump said it, and he's like, so blah blah blah, what do you think about? And then Biden's like, he never condemns blah blah, and then Trump's like, finish the sentence, you know. And I'm just like, man, this is a fucking. I thought that it was gonna be amazing if they went on. I completely did not expect Chris Wallace to be politically postured for that, bro. Like, Trump goes,
he really believed the way he was moderating that.
Or lack of
lack of moderating that debate was showing bias.
Well, he's a registered Democrat first and everything, and then, like, you know, Trump goes, you know, first off, well, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but I'm not surprised, which was just made me crack the fuck up, man.
Bro, I had to think about it, and I was talking to a friend this morning, and I was like, I feel like I have to watch it again. I feel like this because I feel like it was on purpose, everything Trump was doing. You know, like he wasn't trying to play that politician card, right? The posturing up. And every time Biden spoke, he was, listen here, American people, right? Every time, every chance he got, he was looking into those cameras and he was regurgitating stuff that he probably practiced in the mirror.
Definitely,
right?
definitely, man.
And you can see the real side of what Donald Trump is. I mean, they're both.
He panders, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
he definitely panders,
yeah,
bro.
I mean, but they're not the two best people that we got, definitely. And just the fact that they're running for the top seat of the House,
Yeah, man.
is like amazing.
Like
right?
Yang was a pretty good candidate in my opinion, bro. Yang, but then there's like, man, there's like, just look at him and there's like, man, there's no way this guy's gonna get the votes, bro.
Yeah, dude.
He's not part of the establishment,
well,
man.
the party controls everything, right? And the first time I realized that was the 2016 election. I was in the Philippines.
No shit.
And we were listening to the radio and in the Uber, and they go, Bernie Sanders wins the popular vote over Hillary Clinton.
No shit, you did?
But in the state, but lost the electoral college.
Oh, got you.
And
they
I was
want
like, what? I was like, no.
man, dude,
Is this thing rigged? Like, do they have that kind of control to
power,
where-
right? Oh,
Man, and
Clinton, baby.
you just kind of realize like how small of a pawn we are in the diplomatic sense, right? Or even the governmental sense of what's going on.
You know what's crazy though is like, you know how like the Republicans have their base, which is like some of them are just like so hardcore Trump that they can't even say the shit he does wrong. And I'm like, bro, like he does a lot of shit wrong.
He does.
Like I literally posted last week about his executive order on the preconditions of people or something like that. He tried to make an executive order where conditions of people were supposed to be protected, a certain demographic of people. But I'm like, dude, that's not how the way law works, man. So I see people like posting about like, oh, Trump's doing this. I'm like, dude, that's fucking wrong. He fucked up doing this and it's going to hurt his campaign, you know? And I'm like, if you stray too far left or too far right, you miss out on what's right in front of you, bro.
Right.
And that's why I always say like center left and center right's a good place to be, because if you can like judge your candidates or your preferred candidates and judge their faults and notice them and own up to it, then you're not drifting too far where you're becoming a radical or an extremist. And I feel that's really important for people to understand, you know, no matter how bad you want your person to be successful or win, you know, and stuff like that. It's like, you got to acknowledge the faults of people that you prefer, you know, in some way.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think growing up, I've always had Republican views and values, but when I did move out to the States, you know, I was seeing that liberal side and having friends who had liberal views. And I'm never really outspoken on political affiliations or like what I think about politics. Like, dude, you might be the first like person that I've done actual like we're having a conversation about stuff like this.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
I mean, outside of social norms, but like even like getting political. And, you know, I grew up Republican background, got some liberal ideals and views. Like, oh, I can see where that's coming from. Yeah, I agree with that. And
I believe like if you're in the center, you can acknowledge the good things on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
But it's really hard to stay in that center, right? And just
when all you see, everything just coming in, you know,
have a conversation about it. Because if someone who was, you know, a little further left or a little further right, they'll look at me and they'll be like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's like, man, I've freaking literally spent the last 3 hours trying to understand these policies and the laws. I'm like, bro, dude. Honestly, like now at this time, when someone messages me something incendiary, I'll go like, I'll be like, okay, you kind of got to feel them out, right? And then right when I push, brick wall, then I get out. Sorry about that.
Good.
The brick walls, man, I will not talk to you. Like, you know, if you're willing to have a conversation, bro, then I will talk to you, you know, and it's healthy, because that's what we're missing right now is just some kind of discourse, bro, like between all sides, you know. And like the thing that I really hate, man, is that people take things for face value. The left takes things for face value, the right takes things for face value, but vice versa. Yeah, but it's like, man, you gotta like take a step back and kind of just look at something first, and then, you know, think about it first. Everything, you know, kind to contact your peers about it. Like, hey man, like, you know, you see that like the Dems just signed off, like it passed a $2.2 trillion economic recovery bill yesterday, right? I think it was the House that passed it because the Republicans control the Senate, right?
Yeah, so they say it's not going to get past the Republicans.
Yeah, for real. But it's like, man,
like they're not even planning on even looking at it.
For real, exactly, right? Like the Republicans, like they know that it's going to help the American people somewhat, but they know that it's part of the money is going towards destruction that happened in Dem-controlled cities or, you know, states and stuff like that. So it's man, it's definitely, if you're a citizen, you're just like trying to pray that they pass something, because once at this point, you don't know when it's going to end, like the lockdowns, etc. Like, and I'm not against the lockdown, but I'm against just like the transparency of why we're being locked down. And if the only like focal point that they have are deaths, then we need to know more about these deaths, what caused them, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe like
show us the data so we can understand how we need to adjust. My problem with the lockdowns. Dude, can I get my water, Matt? My problem with the lockdowns is that we're not giving people a chance to adapt and adjust. Zero chance to adapt and adjust to what the new is going to be. It's almost like
the news
it's almost keeping people out of the ring, right? Keeping a fighter out of the ring. He's going to have ring rust. What's happening right now? A lot of business people whose businesses depend on, you know, like brick and mortar, they're getting ring rust because every time they try and figure it out, it's like, oh, we're gonna get locked down again.
Dude, remember that mirage that happened in fucking June, bro, where like you thought that it was getting better and everyone started fucking going out and shit like that again, bro?
Yeah, it was like back to normal. Like,
dude, you know that one picture at Tsubaki Tower where it was a certain group of people and it was being passed around?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, well, it's like I took that picture, and then I got a lot of people like messaging me like, "Hey, dude, heard you got COVID, blah blah blah." It's like, dude, I didn't fucking catch it, dude. Like, I'm fine, you know, everything like that, you know. So it's like a lot of things like happen where people just assume too, based on who you're around.
Yeah.
And like going back to that, man, I had the EIF event planned for the summer beach session, you know, and all the logistics were set up. It were literally on the week of, bro, and I canceled it on Friday.
Wow.
For real, everything. We've had about and logistically and from a net standpoint, so we had about like 10K in there, you know, like between like fucking Empire Entertainment, God bless you guys for working with us, and Coffee Slut and everything. We had a deck built there. We mapped it out. We were meeting with our DJs and everything, and then it just kept coming in where these cases were coming in, you know, and I pulled the plug on it, bro. I called up Art Dick Isman early in the morning on Friday. It's like, dude, what do you think we should do, man? And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna pull it, bro. For real. Like people are getting me mad and everything like that, but I thought it was the best thing to do, bro. Yeah. For real, man. And I'm glad I did too.
Yeah, man. But I mean, you know, we have to look. Was it because the lockdown was happening that you pulled it, or
no, because I saw all the cases coming in, and I didn't want to have EIF as a brand or Coffee Slut as a brand.
Like, look at these guys,
like any negative connotation
in the middle of a pandemic.
Right. Yeah. We thought that leading up to it, because things were looking good, the deaths were still around like, what is it, 12, like something like that back in that time.
Yeah.
And like everyone was just kind of happy, bro. I call it the mirage, man.
Yeah.
Bro. Because
let us just hope that we don't go back into a lockdown, right? Let's not go backwards. Please please allow people to be able to do what they need to do to adjust to the different times.
Yeah,
right?
You know, like at this point in time, man, we're what do they say, about 6 to 7 months into the lockdown, so to say, and then, man, people know wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like at a certain point, if it doesn't end, like people have to be responsible, man. So like your self-responsibility and the safety of others has to be like a thing that gets pushed around. But then how are you going to go on with your life? Like you said, brick and mortars, bro. Man, there's some businesses, bro, that are dying and they're not going to come back, man. Never, bro. Dude, man, when Kitchen Lingo closed down, bro, I almost cried, bro. Bro, God bless you guys at Kitchen Lingo, man. You guys are fucking awesome. But man, dude, that one was real. That really hit me, bro.
Sure, dude. For sure.
And I'm like, I just wish there, like I was saying earlier, I wish there was like some kind of town hall, bro. some town hall, some kind of discourse between our leaders from a live standpoint, so we don't have to, I guess, like, read anything that gets prepared or listen to anything that gets prepared for them, where we could just have a normal conversation, and so you can feel like it's real, you know, because some people, you know, I can relate to people on both sides, you know, where there's people like that want everyone to just be locked down and like, hey, you know, like this is for the safety of everyone. But then there's other people who are like, man, but my livelihood is my business, and you know, I have to find a way to live. Like, what do I do? I'm not qualified for these things, these programs, everything like that. Like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? You know, and it's like I feel for them so bad, but that there's no solution in sight for some people, you know. And it just
but to shut down.
Yeah, for real. But I think right now they're working their way back slowly, right?
Slowly. I mean, it's a good step forward. Getting into, what is it, 1.75 right now?
Right, something like that. Something like that.
almost.
We're making progress, baby. Progress, baby.
Yeah. There's a bunch. I think a lot of facilities were able to open up just today.
Yeah, 25% capacity, right?
Yeah, it's a good start. You know, I like the outdoor seating idea. You know, I think a lot of things. It's a lot of different opportunities for people to be able to support that industry, the outdoor dining industry.
It's a new kind of like paradigm, bro. For these guys, you know, that own places that have the outdoor capacity available for them.
And you know, how do you make maybe like an indoor outdoor thing for people, right? Or for restaurants, I mean.
Yeah,
it's
like if you can like outside, maybe 25 is okay inside. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bros. You know, it's crazy when those cases started popping up where, like, if you were there, let's say, like, for perspective, like, oh shit, I'm having dinner at this place, and 2 days later they said, oh, this place where you're at popped. That's like the fear just goes like crazy, and it's like, dude, did you get tested, bro?
Yeah,
bro, all that, man.
Oh yeah, dude. For the first 3 or 4 months, I was like, oh, don't do it. The first month,
I'm not going anywhere, right?
Yeah, and I think I talked about it on previous episodes. Like the first month, I'm like, not really taking it seriously, and then it's like, okay, we didn't see any of our friends this week.
Yeah,
and then next week, it's like, okay,
I saw them on Zoom though.
yeah, like Google Hangouts.
Bros, man. Damn, then, some people got zoomed out, bro.
Shit, this shit is fucking real. Okay, let's start getting together like secretly.
Yo, dude, bros. And I mean, I know a lot of fucking shit that happened like that, bro. And you know what trips me out, bro, is how some couples, bro, like where they're living together and one test is positive, but the other's negative. Like, dude, you're literally sleeping with them, bro, and everything like that. And like, how is that possible? You know, bro?
Yeah, dude. And I tried to do as much research. We're really going way off of what we were originally talking about, and we'll go back to it.
Don't worry.
But I'm just really curious in all the research and science that's going into studying coronavirus and how people are going to be like how to manage it. Like if it's not going away, teach us how to manage it.
Yes, definitely.
Give us something. Let us know, like, if we do these things, we have a better chance of beating this.
Do you know who does a good job of like creating some kind of positive mentality for people, or like releases content that
I already know who you're going to say.
Project Inspire.
No, I was thinking Frank the Crank.
Oh, Frank too. But those guys at Project Inspire, Neil, all those guys, God bless them, man. Really good guys, and they're really taking their time out to like give people like a kind of insight of how the mental outlook of this is, how COVID affects you mentally, and also Ed Suarez, shout out.
I think they did. I think I saw there was a video
like recently too.
Yeah. I liked it.
Bros, what was our original topic? Was of politics, of course, everything, right?
So we went down the crazy train through talking about party affiliation, right?
Stuff like that.
And,
what I was gonna say,
the George Floyd, right? Yeah. That's where we kind of like stemmed off of.
But you can going back to this for everyone listening is like, so we're talking about George Floyd, but then the responses of people towards this, you obviously see like it's split between left and right. And I've had people say, like, why do things always have to be right and left? Well, because that's how things are quantified, man. And if you don't want to like understand it, then that's your prerogative. But at the same point, like, you know, like things are like that because there are issues that are considered issues on the left, issues that are considered issues on the right. Like this, like say for abortion, like, you know, like for me, I don't like the fact that someone can end a life late term. You know, I just can't stand with that. But I do stand for abortion. Like if a female was raped, you know,
Right.
because I don't believe should have to bear that child ever.
Yeah.
You know, but then there's a lot of ifs, ands, and then things just get so political where it's just a humane fucking problem. And you know, the problem with
What about so? What about if it is a midterm, right? Or like
Yeah.
you have those what about people?
yeah, man. But that's like they have a heartbeat, they can feel pain. I guess,
dude.
stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, for sure, and that changes up everything.
Yeah.
right. Because heartbeat is life.
Yeah, man, for reals, bro. I forgot this. It wasn't a meme. It's just like an informal like picture that was just telling the stages of the unborn child, you know, and stuff like that. But like back to the Democrats and Republicans, it's like these issues get so political. But then one thing you can realize is that the Republicans have a certain base where their base is kind of flat, versus the Democrats of the U.S. that have like maybe like 5 factions in it. Your progressives, your liberals, your socialists, your far left fucking. I don't even know what to call them. And then you have your old school Dems, which are fucking solid, bro.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. And it's like, man, their base is so split right now that it's hard to follow exactly who's pulling the strings.
Dems, right?
Yeah, the Dems.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean it's they've separated into so many different factions. I feel like
definitely.
right? And
it's not wrong to say that, and it's not like wrong to think that. You know, maybe it could
they've
work out.
almost been infiltrated. I feel right.
Dude, by fucking, I don't want to say the M word. That Marx. People are gonna
Socialism?
people return this podcast off right now. Bro. But like, yeah, man.
M word.
The M word, bro.
Too bad I can't read your lips.
Bro.
It'll just be like.
That's right. The M word is Marxism, guys. That will trigger the shit out of many liberals, dude. Trust me, bro. But yeah. So me is like I respect liberals. I respect conservatives, man. I don't feel like I'm either of them, but I feel like I have ideals that I feel are positive from both sides. You know.
I
But
feel like
lean
I don't
more
have
right.
enough information to be able to outspokenly say certain things. I kind of just take things for face value and in a sense of still keeping aware of where I'm getting my information. right?
Definitely, man.
And
Like, I'm glad you said that too. So like, just for anyone listening, it's like when you see information, like obviously the first response, if you ever brought that up from an opposing standpoint, they're going to say, oh, that's a right wing media group or that's a left wing media group. But then at the end of the day, like you can collect your media, see it, what happens on it and everything. A good example of this is Kyle Rittenhouse, you know, the kid that, you know, under 16, and the narrative from the left was that he crossed 8 borders with a gun and he went to go kill protesters. But the narrative from the right is he was working as a lifeguard. The gun was there, you know, it was there in Wisconsin, and he was there protecting businesses. He put out a fire. That's what Linwood said. Linwood's the previous lawyer from Nick Sandman, who settled a $250 million lawsuit against all left-wing media. You know, that happened, bro, and he has Linwood now, so it's like that. But going back to the discourse between the left and the right media, it's like you can see it, and then you can talk to people about it and get their opinion, you know, because no matter what, at a certain point, like you just like cannot determine what is factual, you know, and it hurts so bad just to like want to believe in something and then it's just getting shut down completely by the other side. You know, it happens from the left. Sometimes the left is right. Sometimes the right's right, you know, but at the same point, just be humane about it. And if you have a friend that's believes in a certain thing, the best thing to do is just like don't get into that hostile engagement with them, you know, like, you know, people like to block people immediately nowadays. But for me, I just meet them, man. They're still my friend on social media and stuff like that. But I'm just not seeing it right now, you know. I feel like when it happened in June, I lost like 300 to 400 followers, and I was almost at 3,000 on Instagram. Yeah. But then as the time progressed, I gained it all back to where I'm floating like around like 2,950 some, and I'm just like, you know, like that shit don't mean anything. It's superficial. But just to know that people are like kind of like listening to what certain people have to say because they believe that's truth for them.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
especially
cool.
when you get DMs about it.
Yeah,
right?
dude, fuck, man. Sometimes like it's
you can
crazy,
spend
man.
like you gotta
hours.
It's like okay, I can spend like an hour like
Dude,
answering, like having a conversation with people over DMs.
Yeah, dude.
About stuff that you know that's being posted,
and then someone says, "What? Where'd you get that info from? Instagram evidence?" Bro, I'm sorry, girl. bro.
Oh,
It happens like that,
You
bro.
get those kinds.
Yeah, dude, for real. Like I have a lot of close girlfriends that were pretty mad that I sided with Trump, on these things.
okay.
But it was like, man, I love Trump a lot from a world standpoint where he's fighting against globalism, man. Against the establishment that sold off a bunch of things of America, to China. Say the C word now, bro.
yeah.
China, stuff like China, bro.
Yeah. And I'm still. That's like another.
And I'm, yeah, dude,
fucking iceberg.
seriously,
Like,
and people don't even look at it, bro. And it's like, bro, this shit's happening, man.
Like the thing that most interests me about China is like their movement around the world, and what they're doing to gain with like I
political
mentioned earlier,
influence.
political influence, diplomacy. Like they're like making agreements, but like not in like it's like a shady way, kind of, right?
Check out this out, bro. The New York Times released an op-ed yesterday that was Hong Kong is China, whether you like it or not. And it was an op-ed from someone in the Chinese Communist Party, bro. And it was like, man, dude, if you're able to like do op-eds like that, that's like pure fucking propaganda, man.
Yep.
Bro, and like for someone's gonna read that at face value, like, oh yeah, it is. Look, New York Times said it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man. It is what it is, bro. So
I feel like my definition of face value and your definition of face value might be a little different. Yeah.
well, for me, like, I mess up a lot too, so I have to retract certain things.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, I think owning up to it's really good. Like, Joe Rogan had to release a major retraction versus for when he talked about the arsonist.
Right.
Bro, but then there's so many people who are like, dude, it's happening. But I think Joe Rogan, to protect his image and his brand, because he doesn't hate anyone on either side.
Yeah.
I think he just hates like people who like to burn, loot, and murder and people and shit like that.
Right.
So like, it is what it is. But he released the retraction, and I was like, man, like, it takes balls to do that.
It does, man. And even things that I say on this, like sometimes I'm careful about the things I say,
Definitely.
but there's things that I do say wrong and maybe like don't know the definition of, and I used it in the wrong context and the way I had intended to use it, like face value.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's why I looked. I was like, well, you use face value. I must be using face value in the wrong context.
Like,
here.
how many levels are there to face value, bro? Right, I'm on level 1 right now, bro.
Because I read into my shit, but
Yeah.
fuck.
Where do you feel like the most toxic media comes from versus for social media? Like whether it's like Twitter, Instagram,
It's
Facebook?
Twitter, definitely.
Bro.
Twitter, it's
Just
like
an echo chamber, bro.
dude. It becomes it becomes just noisy.
From both
Everybody-
sides, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Bro.
not even politically, like even socially, right? Like
Yeah, man.
what's supposed to be happening here on Guam? Like local Guam Twitter is like wild, bro.
Yeah, I bet, bro.
And it's like,
I just made Twitter just so I can read shit that people say and then repost it, and then it works out, man. Like that the C-SPAN poll that came out. I feel like C-SPAN is very neutral when it comes to media. Like they post things and they don't posture in a way where they try to promote a certain side. And when they had that poll of who wanted to debate for Trump, for leading up to this is when you see a poll come out, it only really has like 20 to 30,000 people participated, like maybe like 100,000, stuff like that, and you don't really see like huge ass polls. But when they put a poll out for the president for who won the debate, man, it was like 69% Trump and stuff like that, and that's just something that's indicative of the way a lot of people think, man.
Right.
Bro. And I really feel like the enthusiasm for Trump is just, there's no challenge, bro. For real. But then Trump fucks up and on certain things, like when I was talking about the pre-existing conditions, when they made that executive order, like he fucks up on that. He fucking panders a lot. And sometimes he just needs to fucking shut up and like let other people do their jobs,
Yeah.
Bro. I feel the administration overall is very strong in their base. You have Kayleigh McEnany, she's really great, man, in terms of like going back to info and addressing the questions from legacy media reporters and stuff that go to the White House and ask her things. Sometimes they ask her blatantly wrong things, but sometimes she defends the president on things that she shouldn't. When she knows the president's wrong, sometimes she does, and I recognize that. So it's like no one's always right, and that's what people need to get all the time,
Yeah.
Bro.
That's a good understanding, man. I guess that's a good standpoint, and I think maybe what people misunderstand about you, right, in your views.
Definitely. Like, what made you like really like want to talk about like the politics for today. This is our talking, right? When we message each other.
Yeah, I mean, because I know you do your research, you know, and not just based off the things that you post. It's like the conversations that we've had over the last like couple years, you know, like pure just.
I like to be a straight shooter, man, bro. As much as my beliefs are, I like to try to be a straight shooter.
For me, I'm not as outspoken as you are. You know, even both on the local side and on I think people, when they listen to me on this podcast, they can understand you know, where my views are coming from and how I view things. But you know, I don't like straight up or straight out.
I think it's because, man, the people that I'm affiliated with from like the standpoint of where I just like, I have fears, but I have like also a huge lack of fear because of the people I'm around, you know, the people I've learned from that support me and all the many different facets in life. And some people I can't say who they are, obviously, because they want to remain anonymous. But man, I really feel like my life leading up to where I first really dwelled into the realm of photography and videography, I feel like I'm not to a sense where like I'm not going to get in trouble for things I say, but it's more so like I've had that courage that was built upon me from them to be able to say things and own it, you know, and not worry about like what someone might think, you know, in that sense, because it's who I am. Because if I say something and it's not who I am, then I'm doing a disservice to myself, to my soul, you know. If I try to like buckle down because I work for this person, you know, stuff like that. So I kind of like have my life set up where like I can't really be canceled, you know, so to say. Like, you know, like I have my people, my clients are gonna come to me back. I throw events. Like, dude, like you're not gonna cancel my shit, you know, bro. Because people know that what I stand for, you know, and stuff like that. And I'll stand up for liberals if someone's fucking with them, bro. Straight up. Like dude, man, we're going back to like my first time where I ever stood up against a bully for someone else was actually my senior year in high school, bro. So it was the first barbecue of the year. You know, September or August, September, one of them, the first barbecue. And if you went to FD, after all, God bless you. I'm sorry you didn't have any barbecues. I'm sorry, you know, because they don't have any barbecues anymore, right? Something like that. I'm not too sure. But like, so like we're having the barbecue, it's going good, and then, dude, fucking my seniors just start throwing chicken bones at fucking these freshmen. And you know, like I'm just looking at it like, man, okay, you fucking assholes, you know, stuff. And this is football season, bro. I'm fucking everyone up in football during practice, dude. So like I yelled at them like, hey, what the fuck? And it was fucking Damien Arceo and fucking John Troy who were getting picked on. I was like, you motherfuckers want to pick on these freshmen? Fuck you. Later in practice, I fucking laid everybody out, bro. bro. Man, it was crazy, bro. For real. I don't like people getting picked on, bro. Like for me on what's the right word for this? On the I forgot what scale it is. I'm a chaotic neutral person. You know, it's like a scale. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the personality. I'm chaotic neutral. I don't like people telling people what to do, stuff like that. I feel like everyone should be a free thinker, stuff like that. I hate people getting picked on, bro. Or like someone that's badass and like, oh, dude, fucking. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, dude, just fucking do your own shit, you know? Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm starting to get a little bit emotional about this because it's a touchy topic. Yeah. I hate bullies, bro. Straight up, man. And that's why I see when these people like tell people to bark at their fucking commands, you know, like, you know, when you see like people on the BLM side fucking telling people to like raise their fists or stuff like that, or like, you know, stand with us or else, then they're fucking attacking them, like, you know, like if someone's eating at a restaurant, stuff like that. If that shit happened to me, bro, shit about to go down, bro. Bro, I'm gonna make some calls, dog, bro. And I'm like, dude, that shit's not cool, man. It's just like I really feel like a lot of problem right now is just the discourse and people taking things for face value and not really understanding what happens. And one of the biggest problems, cognitive dissonance, where you get the new information and then that mental part of your brain triggers if it's not the information you trust. Right. And then for that to experience, I've experienced that with Trump, you know, where he was like, forgot, it was when he pulled the DACA rights for trans people, you know, I thought that was fucked up, man. Bro, because I've really good trans friends. I'm so supportive of LGBTQ community. One of my son's godfathers, called him Nina, is Josh, the younger J Rocket. Okay. You know, his other two godfathers other three is Rick Blas Jr., Ryan Bigler, and Eric Tanaka. Okay. Three of my best friends, you know, stuff like that. So for me, it's like when I saw him pull the DACA stuff, I'm like, man, they're gonna use this on me. Dude, sure enough, bro. Sure enough.
But do you find yourself like going on the defense? Like
most of the time,
I don't want to say for the administration, because I know that's not what your intent and purpose is, right? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's hard. So that's hard to be able to defend someone, like maybe someone like Trump or even just Biden defend a view, but being in agreement with everyone else that can. That
It's hard to be that middle point, bro.
It is, man.
Back to where I said, like,
that's-
if you stray too far left or too far right, you lose track of what's in front of you.
Right. It goes back to that balance, right? But being outspoken about it is kind of like, wait, but you support this. Why are you supporting this?
Yeah, man,
Right?
bro. So it's like no matter what, they're gonna find something on you at. What the thing that people need to understand is Trump's not as bad as people say he is. Biden's not as bad as people say he is. Right now, we're all getting information that gets filtered, fabricated, framed, etc., like that. Framing tactics are horrible. It happens on both sides. But end of the day is like you gotta like worry about things that you control. You can
But
control.
we're seeing everything all at once. Everybody's
Yeah.
reporting on the same thing all at once.
But you can. That's exactly why I initially started to get into politics. So like, remember when you asked me earlier this year, you asked me what made you dwell in it this year. It's like when I got called a racist.
Yeah.
But what made me really go Team Trump was in 2015 when I just kept seeing things all the same attacking Trump. And my whole life growing up, everyone's like, dude, this guy's fucking badass, you're fired. Shit like that. Everyone likes him, And like sometimes like I'm like, dude, fuck that guy, dude, fucking rich ass white guy, stuff like that, And I had that opinion before. Like, I can racially profile someone negatively and I noticed that, before. Like let's be real. Like Guam, a lot of people on Guam are fucking racist, bro.
Yeah,
like
dude.
in a way, like not
And
that way.
that's so funny you say that. I
Bro,
mean, I
stereotyping
think I
for
did
sure.
just tell somebody recently. I'm like, dude, racism on Guam exists,
Bros, man.
right? And
real.
I think going back to the Black Lives Matter movement, the fact that it didn't expand to other racism here on Guam, local racism, is like
Yeah.
blows my mind. It's like, okay, is this
real,
gonna end there?
bro.
Right? It's like,
Dude, you know what's crazy?
And when it goes back to like impact, I'm like, that has less of an impact on us here than what's actually going on
Bro,
here.
dude, you know what's fucking crazy is back in like February, March, people in the States were so fucking racist to Asian people.
Yeah,
dude,
right.
I was seeing
And all
people
of a
cry, making like posts on
Yeah,
everything like that, and they're like, man, like I'm just like trying to walk on the street, and then they're fucking like, dude, where the fuck was the fucking social justice there, bro? I'm like, you can't have like one side and like not recognize the injustices on the other,
Yeah.
So one thing I really bring up, man, too, when people are talking about like race justice and everything like that is like, are we only like focusing on this in the United States, or are we able to say that the shit that's happening in fucking like the Middle East or in the UAE and shit where like people don't have rights, gays get thrown off buildings, women get stoned, shit like that. But dude, no feminist or guy wants to talk about that fucking level of fucking bullshit, bro, because it inconvenienced the shit out of them.
Yeah, I mean, there was during that time too. There was people starving in Yemen, right? So I mean, there's all kinds of shit going on all the time.
Or the fucking slaves that make fucking LeBron's fucking shit, bro. That shit fucking blows my mind, dog. Bro.
It's everything, and it's come to the
Hypocrisy.
point. Well, it's come to the point of that you just have to pick and choose what kind of information that you want to take in,
Definitely, bro.
right? And how you're gonna make it affect you, because it's way too much to just really care about, right? And it's maybe easier to have that disconnect when you're reading about it or just seeing it.
Yeah, like for me, a good example to what you're saying is when I see the decolonization movement on Guam. I don't know a lot about it, man.
You just pluck some heartstrings. I think that's as sensitive as the M word.
For
you
real,
know? I mean,
bro.
it's
It is, man. And then for me, I want to understand more about it because I support the U.S. a lot. My grandpa always used to say a good thing.
Right.
Like if I forgot what it was, something about I would have ching ching eyes if it wasn't for the U.S. Something like that.
Yeah.
And like I believe him. He left out. There's a little small other part that he left out there, but you feel me? For reals, dude. He have ching ching eyes and a small, for reals. But like, man, it's just like I'm trying to understand the decolonization movement from an open mind,
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys that's gonna say, oh, fuck this, fuck that. I'm never like that, man.
well, it goes back. I mean, I've always believed that the decolonization movement has just the word decolonization almost sounds negative.
Yeah, man,
right. It has
bro.
that negative
Exactly.
connotation to it when you hear it, right? And people say self-determination.
Self-determination.
is a better way to say
Yeah.
it, right? And I mean, we can go down a whole different rabbit hole, and especially when it comes to like independence, right? I mean,
But this is like a rabbit hole where I have no information about.
Yeah, man.
That's the whole point I was saying.
That it's hard to like, okay, when people are like, how do you
address
support
it?
this?
Yeah,
It's
man.
like, well, you know, I mean, I want to support it, but there's other shit that I feel like is more important at this point, right?
That's the thing, bro.
It's like, what do you mean this is not important? It's like, no, it's not that I don't think that. You have to, like I said, you just have to pick and choose the things you want to care about.
Absolutely,
you know.
bro.
And there's people who will put their heart and soul and fight until their very last breath.
That's one thing I can recognize, man. Effort,
things,
bro.
Man. Yeah, man.
Effort's a very, very great thing that if you see it, man, it's very respectable, bro. Even if it's something that you're not certainly affiliated with. Like when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, bro, like, dude, she was a fucking fighter, bro. As much as I didn't like the policies that she was enforcing over the last 5 years of my life, at least, man, I've seen her, like when the third wave of feminism was happening back in 2016, like she was spearheading like a lot of those movements and stuff. And it's just like when she passed, man, I can kind of see like people respected it, bro, no matter what side you were on, man, and everything. Like for me, I made a post about like, you know, she was a fucking fighter. She was a strong woman who believed in herself, and I respect that shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like if someone's like while preaches about something I don't like, I'm not just gonna say fuck them.
Yeah, I saw the beginning of a doc about her, and just talking about how she was like one of 5 women in a class of like 200 men, right? And
she's a fighter, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, man.
And just trying to be taken seriously as someone who wants to study law. Like, why do you deserve to be here, right? And how she's made her way up, all to being appointed by Bill Clinton, right?
Yeah,
93.
So think so. Definitely. Oh man, the B word. No, I'm just joking, bro. This comment can stem in a lot of ways, bro. It's like, how far off do I want to go from things that I can actually citate, bro? Things like I can citate. Are we going flying on a plane right now, or you know?
Yeah, man. I think you're. I feel like your knowledge is in depth, and I feel like you're well read. Me, I'm an article read person. I don't really read books or anything like that. I love to read.
Well, speaking of,
no. I just love to read different kinds of articles and from different parts of the world and see what people are saying, and I mean, and not put too much care into it, you know, into what I'm seeing or what I'm reading, because dude, that kind of shit puts people into depressive states, man.
For real, bro.
You know, like the state of the world is shit.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Man, it's kind of been like that for a long time.
So it's funny you say like books or just reading material in general. Like there's like a few mantras or a few things that I put like as mantras in my life, and I'll go into a little detail briefly. One is a while ago, Brian Artero told me to read Art of War, which I did, and man, that changed my mind, bro. And then Big John Calvo told me to read the 48 Laws of Power, which is also a really eye opener too. And then I discovered the 33 Strategies of War on my own. And the reason why I can like see things in a little bit like differently from people is, so let's say the 7th strategy of war is turn your war into a crusade, you know? And then when you kind of like see that, you kind of understand that when the left is pushing these things and saying like, oh, we're fighting against this and that, it's like, I come from a standpoint of them using that towards their advantage, you know, and then like it doesn't faze me like that, because I know I take it for what it is, based off of the fact that these books are out there that taught me like, oh, okay, this works. Like divide and conquer is a huge thing, man. And then I'm not gonna say that that's what they're doing, because I can't prove it, bro. But if you ask me honestly, like, what do I think? Like, I think they're trying to divide the nation right now so they can beat Trump in that facet, because they know Trump will never lose his base.
Right.
Because some people are just like Trump all the way, bro, no matter what.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like
despite what he says, how bad he is.
Despite what he says, despite how bad he is, Trump all the way.
Yeah.
So like when they're talking about the debate, bro, it's like Trump didn't lose anybody. He only gained people, bro.
Yeah.
And like the biggest demographic of voters in the U.S. are undetermined voters, right? Something like that, or people who they don't know what their decision is. Undecided, bro. And then like the funniest thing is CNN pulls up this it was like a group of undecided voters. This lady on CNN goes, so how many of you thought Biden won the debate? And then one person raised their hand out of like 20. Dude, I was like, man, bro, like you didn't need to tell me that. Right when I saw that it was Trump versus Wallace and Biden, I was already like, dude, it's a wrap. It's a whap, bro.
Yeah, man. And it was cool to watch, just because we've seen, you know, it's not normal. That's not normal shit.
Yeah, that is not normal, bro. That's like, the first time I saw it like that, bro.
That is not how debates go, you know, and like like straight up just like interrupting the other guy, you know. And
but they only said Trump interrupted him. But I counted like 6 or 7 times when Biden interrupted him. And Wallace stopped him like twice, but very like, hey, Mr. Biden. You know? But then
Mr. Trump,
dude, I
Mr.
swear,
Trump, can I get a word? If you like this question, Mr. Trump.
The funniest thing that anyone has ever said to me regarding the debates was, he was like, bro, imagine Chris Wallace. He was probably having a pep talk with himself saying, you are the man, you're stronger than this. Trump is not going to make me mad, you know, like that. Like, I am powerful. And then he goes up and he goes on the stage and just gets wrecked by Trump. Oh
yeah, man. I mean, the entertainment value is there, and I think that's what we have to expect out of Donald Trump, right?
Man.
It's like
he's a fucking businessman. He's not a
man.
politician.
He's not there to. He's gonna tell you what he knows, and what he knows is real, and the things that he I guess knows, like, is well versed on. And I don't think it's like really outspoken like that. His were more like court, right? Or thing. How do I say this? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to spit it out.
No worries, man.
Not.
It's all good.
It was him being just him, nothing different. He wasn't trying to. Yeah, man. I mean, he's a what you see is what you get kind of guy.
Oh, for sure. But I'm very sure that he's art-warring the fuck out of people, though, with certain things, you know? Like, I feel like he could have attacked Biden on certain issues, but he's saving it, man. Like,
he didn't. And that's the thing. Like, he didn't really say anything, right?
Bro, no one learned anything from it. Bro, it was just, okay, Biden and Wallace is teaming up, and Trump's a fucking asshole.
But all people are focusing on is like, he told the Proud Boys to step, what was it?
It's like stand down and stand by. You know, it's interesting, and people need to listen to this when I say this is. So that question from Christopher Wallace was called a bait and switch, right? It's a question that you use to try to pry information out of someone predicated off of a.
Would you condemn them right now?
Yeah, so it was a bait and switch question, and people that don't know how debates work and stuff like that, they're automatically like, oh, Proud Boys this, Proud Boys that. But you know what's crazy is Joe Biden shouldn't have said Proud Boys, because dude, he could have said something completely different. But I think he chose Proud Boys because it's kind of like a thing up in the air right now, right? And you know, some people really hate them, you know, because some people say that they're all about hate, but that could be because of indoctrination or proselytizing them to believe that, you know? So for me, it's more like I look at it, I research it over like the last few years. Okay, they were fucking assholes that caused violence, condemn all that shit, you know? But at the same point, they aren't white supremacists. Their leader is a fucking Cuban guy and everything. And then there's so many black people in it, you know, and stuff like that too. You know, that really, like, it's just nationalism and Western chauvinism is pride in your country and, you know, everything like that. But people will twist it. There's an interview on CNN where they said male chauvinism first.
Right.
And then and then he was like,
were you the one that posted that?
Yeah, I posted that. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people posting this, but it's like, hey man, just at least see this different thing, you know, like, and then there's a lot of people that are supporting me. Dude, I want to say this first is like, dude, if you think that all your friends are anti-Trump, we're in for a rude awakening if there was later on a lie detector. I tell you that, bro. Bro, there's so many people that support Trump very secretly, bro. Yeah. It's crazy. And I'm out there like, man, guys, come on, just fucking say you do it, bro. It's fucking, the grass is greener, a lot greener on the other side.
It goes back to that like social aspect of it, right? It's like people don't accept you socially because it's not a popular thing to care. I mean, to support.
Yeah, but the thing about that too, why it doesn't affect me is because I don't like being around a lot of people like that either anyway from the get-go. Yeah. Like when I would go out to a bar or something like that, like, dude, I would like just like get my shit and stay in my own zone, you know, and stuff like that, man. That goes back to a lot of, man.
For me, it's hard to knock the things that Trump has done.
Yeah,
right. And like people would argue like, okay, then what has
fake.
he done?
It's fake. Yeah. You know, like, no, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Well, he's done this, and it's like.
You know, the funny thing is, like, Trump has this fake news, and then Biden that is a lie. Bro, he was just like, that is a lie. You know, like, he was just, like, standing by it, and it's like, okay, let's fucking fake news everyone, man. There is a lot of lack of understanding from both sides, bro. But at the same point, like, going back to what I said is, just don't engage in hostile conversations with people right now. You know, don't block people, and you know, you can meet them if you want. You know, but then at the end of the day, just know that right now there's no.
But it almost seems like like you have to know the history of everything in order to to make a credible claim for your support.
Definitely, bro.
Right? And it's like people will challenge you on that shit.
No, definitely,
and be
bro.
like, you have no idea what you're talking about. I think I was
where are you getting your information from?
I was watching people fight on social media about taxation, about Trump's taxes, right? And people posting videos.
Bro, like Green New Deal, though, fuck. It's crazy, man.
I don't know much about it. No, I don't know much about it. But I mean, he's it's what am I trying to say here? Yeah, it's watching people argue about it. I'm like, man, the way this argument is going, it's like, well, prove it to me. Prove to me that you know.
Exactly.
Prove to me that you know. You know the history. Do you know the history? Do you know that in 1964? Like, man, I mean, shit. I guess if that's what is needed to,
but then people watch that
to like make a to make support. Right?
But then people watch those debates though, and then they're like, oh, I think he's right. I think this person's right, or this person's, this and stuff. And I'm just like, man, dude, there's a lot of like disinformation on both sides, and there are certain things that you can like be super fucking concrete about. Like racism is fucking bad,
right?
Straight up, bro. There should be no fucking racism, and condemn racism on all sides and stuff like that. Condemn sexism, all those bad things, bro. Like, dude, those are concrete things. But then what people need to realize is that there are actually people hijacking these things to use for a political gain, because it's convenience for them, and then if you can't acknowledge that, man, then that's a bunch of fucking it's cognitive dissonance. It's ignorance for sure. It's just a lack of trying to be real.
Yeah, wasn't there for the Black Lives Matter movement? Wasn't there a website that was saying support to Black Lives Matter, but it was supporting the Democratic Party?
Yeah,
right?
The Act Blue 501c Act Blue is tied to that, and you can search it for yourself, guys. Like just watch some videos on the 501c for Act Blue associated with Black Lives Matter. They got almost $1 billion, but then a lot of black conservatives are like, where's the money going to?
Yeah.
Because if you're Black Lives Matter, you support liberal blacks and conservative blacks no matter what.
Yeah. Right.
But there's obvious bias,
Right. Yeah.
There's obvious bias. The thing I fucking makes me laugh so hard is when someone calls a black conservative an Uncle Tom. Like, bitch, Uncle Tom was the hero in that fucking story of Harriet Tubman, Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Bros, dude. It fucking pisses me off, dude. Like, some people just say stupid shit, bro. But it's their thing.
Yeah, I mean, it just needs to be okay to just support whatever you want. I mean, you're gonna have your view. Are you trying to look for a fight right now?
Yeah, exactly, man.
The only reason why you're asking this kind of question is because you want me to prove something to you, and you want to make yourself feel better about knowing that I didn't know what the Boston Tea Party was about, right? Or didn't know why the American Revolution happened.
Or you didn't know that one person's name in it.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, let me just throw a bomb out there. Like, people don't realize that wasn't Hitler that ordered the fucking gassing. It was Himmler, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, Himmler was the real fucking
Gestapo chief, right?
Yeah, bro. Himmler was the fucking devil, bro. And Hitler's just as bad, but it's like, man, it's like people like to leave out certain things like that, man, and stuff. And it's just like, just knowing more about it makes you kind of like understand the way things work. And I like learning about war, bro, to be honest, man, a lot. Like how tactics are made and stuff like that. And fuck, bro, it's just very opens your mind a lot, because some people aren't ready for real world violence, man. To be honest, like if shit happens, if shit went down, like if we get attacked by fucking China, dude, they made that video. Remember that shit? They made that video of the bombing. People are saying that, oh, it wasn't Anderson Air Force Base, but dude, it fucking looks like it obviously had some clips of it from like movies and stuff. But like if fucking someone says that this is made to be an attack on Guam demonstration, like the quote we're saying, if somebody shows who you are, believe them. Right. There's that quote, and I'm just like, man, that shit fucking made me kind of scared, bro. It's the same fear I had when it was 2017 and my son was just born and North Korea's making threats. That's one of the main things that made me like really like Trump, bro, is when he shut that guy down, bro.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un, bro. It's funny, man, too, bro, because people like totally leave that out, on Guam, let's just forget about that,
that at any moment somebody can attack us.
Yeah, someone literally told me that he was just bluffing. It's fucking not Trump's like win. I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me, bro?
Like, do you know what China? Going back to China, like, do you know what China's doing in the Pacific right now as we speak,
bro?
You know, they're whining and dining people. They're building infrastructure for different places.
Dude, there's
and
people in
islands
concentration camps, and there's fucking
the
organ
Pacific.
harvesting happening too.
Yeah, the Muslims in China, right?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
So I mean, man, it's I don't know where we were going with that, but it's.
Sorry, man. This
just have to
conversation's all over the place.
It really is. Because whoever's listening to it is like, dude, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Bro. But
I think this is what it has to show is that everything's kind of connected.
Yeah,
right.
Man.
Everything affects
Follow the money, bro.
dude. And it can be so obvious sometimes, but it's hidden in plain sight.
Hidden in plain sight, bro. That's the best way to hide things, man. One person told me a very smart thing recently. It's like, man, do you know why these guys win, bro? It's because the platforms that certain people are using are based off of 2% of the fucking population. Like, let's say if you're fighting for certain rights and stuff like that, it's like you're trying to win votes off of a platform that's based off of social injustice or something like that, where it's like your demographic of voters is not really there. So you can't get mad at someone that's just old Jim Teal and fucking going by the playbook and just, you know, just riding with their party and they're gonna win based off of that because it exists like that. And to create change is a very polarizing topic because like change is the only constant in the world, yet it's so hard to achieve the change for certain things, you know? And in my opinion, man, a lot of things holding back change on Guam is the existence of parties. We're such a small island, yet we fight on so many issues, Democrat, Republican, that I just don't want to be involved in it anymore. Like, for me, I really see myself running for a certain position in the government in the future. And as much as I fucking, like, shouldn't, I really want to, like, pour all my heart and soul into running by myself.
Right.
Not running with any party, bro. Because I don't want to be played by the rules of those parties, bro, and stuff like that. I want to work with everyone. Because I worked with different people on both sides. And it's like the second that the other side found out I helped out another side. It's like, you know, like all this fucking, you know, stuff like that coming up. And I'm like,
wow,
yeah.
Hey, wow.
No, it was literally like that.
For real?
For real.
And you're gonna do that?
For reals, man. And it's like, man, dude, I'm just fucking recording a video for Donald Trump, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, I love you, brother. Love you, brother, by the way. And I appreciate that talk we had, bro. But yeah, so it's like,
sounds like you have to have a lot of talks. Do you feel? And then I think it just goes back to the question that I asked earlier. It's like, do you feel like you have to defend yourself, like to fend off people who don't agree with, like, your now outspoken point of views, right?
I think initially it was a defense from a defensive position that I had, but now it's like, as people like actually talk to me, they realize I'm not an idiot. You know, they realize that I've really have humane rhetoric in me that can like rationalize between things that are going wrong, things that are bad, stuff like that. You know, like I was talking about that kid, the violinist kid who got killed by those cops. Like, dude, those cops are fucked up. Fuck those guys, straight up. But I can't stand back and say posture with a certain way if there's actual evidence that exonerated cops from a certain act. You know, like I cannot do that because I'm standing for truth no matter what. Yeah. And sometimes truth is very hard to accept at times, man. For reals. Like imagine like you're the father who wants to raise your son as a football player, all this and that, stuff like that, and then he turns out he wants to be gay, you know? And it's like, dude, you have to fucking imagine those worlds that get rocked like that, and how many times that happens. And it's like, man, you have to accept things for what they are. And like, I think, man, it's so hard to explain
face value.
Or not like face value is a certain way to look at things, but the way like in this case is like you really have to separate yourself from the echo chamber. You know, just because it's everyone's posting about it and stuff like that doesn't mean it's right. Like, dude, when Trump was debating, bro, a lot of these teachers on Guam posted about Biden versus Trump. The amount of disinformation that they were posting about was really making me scared because these are teachers on Guam that are involved in the educational system. And it's like, man, you guys are completely predicating that off of your bias. You know, and it's like, dude, I expected better of you guys in my sense, you know. I've debunked things like Trump cages children, shit like that, bro. There's a lot of things about Trump that I've debunked. And it's not me taking a side with them. It's just me trying to stand up for truth, you know. Like when people said Trump cages children, it's like, dude, the fucking CBP when people come in trying to cross the border legally, they process people individually. Obama set those cages up way before Trump and everything that for CBP. So just because they're not in a fucking 5-star hotel doesn't mean they're being caged. You know, a lot of times the people they refuse to eat food there. I have a couple boys in the CBP that gave me this info, bro, and they're not trying to fucking just like bail out Trump for that. They're just trying to be real because they're being attacked. So many people are being attacked, bro. I was with Rafi Scamberly not too long ago, and he's a canine, you know, and he was fucking just saying like, man, I worry about my job a lot because of shit that happens out there, because I don't know if I'm going to do something that is going to be perceived differently where I get fucked.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I feel like a lot of people really need to sit back and just have more discourse so we're not putting hate into our discussions, you know? Because as much as I try to have really civil discourse with people over Trump, it's, man, I just automatically, when I see the hate there and everything and they're not willing to accept anything, it's like I have no other sort or option but to stop the conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
that's what I'm saying. Is like anybody who tries to create a heated conversation is doing that on purpose, right?
Yeah,
you have to excitate those feelings or pluck on those heartstrings to get what you want out of the person.
Definitely.
Whether you're doing you're having a normal conversation or or you're in the regular media, right? Because you hear it in our local media all the time too, right? Like that's how you get the clicks, that's how you get the views.
Yeah, for me, I honestly, like, I'm just not about that shit, bro. Like, my whole like what I pride myself in is just trying to just be real, man.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And like, I'm not gonna let no one influence me, bro. Like, I'm like, my fucking people, my OGs that I'm with, bro, are fucking respected ass motherfuckers in this fucking island. And I'm like, from the professional standpoint to the streets, bro. Wow. Straight up, man. And it's like, man, for me, it's like they allowed me to sit at the circle with them because they knew I was real. You know, they allowed me to fucking like enjoy the benefits that we have because I was real and I deserved it, and because they saw me work hard. And I did slip before, bro. Like, in terms of like just me like in control of my life. I'd say like 2017 is where I had like a pretty bad slip, and I got involved with this girl that I shouldn't have, and I had a choice to be with her or not. And there isn't a single day where I go by and I'm really sorry to the homie that did that to, you know. Yeah, for real. And like a lot of things, bad things, like stemmed from that. Like, it was just like a complete me going all the way up to me starting to lose track of work, turn things in late, bunch of shit where it was like losing control of my life. It
was affecting all parts of your life.
Yeah, for real. Like, it wasn't just the fact that like a bad relationship happened, but it was more so like the timing of everything was just really bad. And going into 2018, it was just more like me trying to be completely by myself, you know. Doesn't matter like where I go. I can go like any fucking club or bar and go, I'm like VIP line, this, blah, 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 that. Like, you can get like whatever I want pretty much. I'm being completely honest, man. Yeah. And it wasn't making me happy. So it was last year, 2019, where I actually stayed here for a couple months, you know. And I really
down here.
Yeah. I stayed here, the garden. I helped out Melker, and he set me straight, you know, bro. And that thing, ever since then, it was like, I got this new perspective on life where I was having fun before, and now I'm just trying to make sure that my life and my son's life is good. Right. You know? And then 2020, bro, it was bro. It was gonna be the fucking best year, man, bro. It was January. We're playing Brawl. I went to Australia early February to shoot a fight documentary for my boy Sam K. Shout out Sam K. He was previously the #1 top ranked heavyweight in Australia and New Zealand. So I go out there and then I shoot his stuff. And then while I'm out there, I meet these badass fucking Aboriginal artists, MC Barca and then fucking Mac Ridge, and I shoot videos for them. Barca's video ended up getting 400,000 views.
Damn.
She went from 30 followers on Instagram to 17,000 today. Bro, and her 400,000 view video is on Facebook, you know. So it's like, dude, you kind of like boost that shit. That shit's authentic as fuck, you know. And then like I did Sam K's thing, come back to Guam. We're throwing Brawl. We're bringing MMA back, you know. And like my role in Brawl is from a managerial standpoint to shooting all the videos and stuff. My team's like me, Scotty, Rocky Martinez, Malcolm Abustin, Tim Sharoma, Tony Borja, Tone Bash, fucking Jolo. fuck, man. Wayne, like, dude, we're like a small team, and we fucking packed that fucking place, bro. Bro, it's 1,320 some people, and we had to turn like 50 some people away. And like, dude, it was the last event before the lockdown.
Right.
Rose,
Pretty
man.
much at the very last event.
So for me, like, I really am proud that I was part of the last event that happened in Guam, and I also try to push for the next event after lockdown during the Mirage.
Right.
During the Mirage, man. And then that stems out to like, I always like to ask people like why they started stuff, and this is one question that I wanted to ask you today: is why did you get into podcasting?
Me? I think, have I shared this before, Matt, on the show? A couple times, maybe. So, yeah, man, I think I was like 27, 28 when I started thinking about, I wanted to do something different. Music has always been a love of my life for a long time. And I wanted to explore a different part of me. And the initial thought was, okay, maybe I can become a night DJ,
No
just play music, like do something kind of different. And then I found podcasting like around 2013.
No way.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And so I was already listening to some podcasts. And then 2014, I decided to buy gear. And 2015 is when I started. And there was no real reason. I think it was just looking for a different kind of truth in that respect. Like
you're just seeing
a different kind
side.
of grow, right? And so
Do you have any inspirations? Joe Rogan?
of course,
Yeah.
And Mark Maron's podcast too, the What
Maron's.
the Fuck podcast. So I didn't know I was gonna fall in love with it. I just like, okay, let's do this. Bought the gear, had it for like 10 months. Then Chris Santos was like, hey bro, when are you gonna start your podcast thing? And I was like, Bo.
Yeah, Bo.
Yeah.
Nice. Good guy.
So, and I was like, well, I don't know. I'm just, I guess I'm just looking for a good time. And we were throwing a Trench Fest that year.
Oh, yeah, dude. I just did that video for Guam Time, like not too long ago for them. Shout outs Matt's Grow and Guam Time, baby.
Yeah,
Bro.
dude. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad Matt's doing that. That's a real big thing for him.
Yeah,
that he's
definitely
putting
needed.
a lot of his time into.
Like going back to effort, man, Matt shows a lot of effort and respect that so much of it, bro.
Yeah.
But like you were saying with your podcast.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was gonna fall in love with it. I think I was starting to like feel a new high, right? I was like, wow, it's like stoked. Like I learned some shit tonight.
Who was your first podcast ever?
So yeah, we were doing Trench Fest, and we had Jordan T, Josh Heinrichs, and Skill and Jaw.
That's a good ass first podcast, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So we just brought them to the beach at Abrunau, Retidian Eco Beach
Nice.
Resort. Now, before it was Retidian Eco Beach Resort, it was just coconut trees.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so we brought them down there, and I just brought my podcast gear, and I was like, hey man, you guys want to like record, like try and record a conversation, or like I'll interview you, right? So it's kind of evolved, right? I would do like interviews, and I figured out it's like, man, I'm really getting to know people on this.
Information
Right?
overload must be
Yeah,
insane,
dude,
bro.
and people are getting to know me on this, right? And I'm like creating this relationship with people, and I think that's why the podcast for me is a special thing, right?
Yeah.
It's outside of just trying to get the most views.
Yeah, dude,
And,
bro. Those will always come if you have
listens.
good content, bro.
Yeah, man,
Straight up.
and I think the people who I bring on are the good content, and for me, it's like it's always learning
Yeah.
different things I didn't know.
Yeah, like
different-
it's learning someone's perspective is a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
You know, it allows you to open up your own mind.
and it's given me a lot of perspective and a lot of like realization, that it's we're all gonna fail, we're all gonna succeed, we're all kind of going through this crazy thing called life, but it's really how you deal with the crazy things that come your way and manage it, manage the risk, even that's all it is. It's just managing the
Like
risk.
when you make a business plan, like you're creating a SWOT report, right?
Yeah.
Strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And like a lot of things, like I apply that to life in a lot of reasons, right? And like hearing your story like that is cool, man, because like I feel like podcasts are really needed on Guam because we're such a small knit community. You hear things thrown around a lot for different people, but you never hear what the person has to say if there's no medium to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I really think your podcasts have allowed people to break a certain barrier.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I really try to keep my the conversations that I have with people, and it's crazy how much this has evolved into this, where we can speak like this and people share things that I wouldn't even imagine that you would share.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey man, we're all gonna go through it. We're all going through this. So just live it, be happy.
You also never know like who like the younger generation's looking up to too.
Yeah.
Like if they want to step into the world of like photography or event management and stuff like that, like I would have like a lot of things to say to them if they ask.
For sure, dude. And there's people that do like message me or do talk to me or try to get in contact with me about starting their own podcast. I'm like, dude, please, like you have to.
Like you would love to listen to someone.
Yeah,
you know?
man, and get different perspectives because podcast is growing around the world and people are doing it.
Bro.
And this is our own little voice, right? I mean, both the independent and network style, right? So I mean, they all matter. All the podcasts matter. It's like you just have to put your all podcasts.
No, all podcasts matters. But it was crazy because like I never really got into
shit, man.
I never really got into photo and video before for a professional standpoint until kind of until Melker needed it, and like, you know, at the time we were doing Submit in 2017. So I was shooting ever since like high school. Like I have like stop motion videos.
So you've always been into video and
photo, yeah. So like I like stop motion videos from high school where I have like Nico from Mighty Island riding Charles Mahino from, you know, he's a fucking badass fucking metal singer and player. Like I have a stop motion of Nico riding Charles back through the outside the cafeteria, stop motion right the whole way. I'll probably post that in my story later. But like it wasn't until 2017 I was having this story's gonna sound super fucking crazy, but I was on fucking the Palm Jumeirah Fond El in Dubai. The Palm Jumeirah is where the fucking
on top is it looks like a palm, right?
Bro, the Atlantis is at the top, but I'm sitting on the fucking beach with Don Munya because he was there. He just finished Town not too long ago.
For Brawl in Dubai.
No, for
right?
Submit.
Or Submit in Dubai. That's right.
So if you're listening, like I'm involved in Submit, Brawl, and EIF, right? And then I'll do my own personal photography, videography. And so anyways, going back to me and Don on the beach, he gives me a whiskey. We're drinking whiskey. We bought it in the airport because you cannot buy it anywhere, right? So we're drinking a Johnny Black. And then he's looking at my fucking Zion gimbal, or it's like a GoPro gimbal, Fayutech or something. And he's like, Ken, why don't you like just do this for a living? And I'm like, man, I never thought of it like that. Bros.
What were you doing then?
I was just, so I got out of fucking, I was working at Caprichosa.
That's
2010.
right. That's right.
Dude, I was a fucking gangster server there, man. Straight up. I prided myself in being a good server there. But I left that, man, because the girl I was dating at the time was thinking like I should do more. So I joined airport police in 2014-2 cycle.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Not a lot of people know that. For real.
Was that a long stint or that?
No, it's like a year or so. You're a little bit over a year, I think. Not too long, but like I got to learn a lot, man. And then without dwelling off too far yet, I'll go back to this. I was fucking, after that, I worked for Raj Daryanani, great guy. He taught me a lot about business. And then it was Rick, after I worked with Raj, Rick Blas introduced me to Melker, you know, back in like, I think 2016, something like that. And then we went to fucking London on a crazy long trip, right? In Europe, we went to London, Amsterdam, Belgium, and France. And then it came back to Guam. And then after that, I just got involved with Submit. And then we went to Dubai. And that's when that conversation for me and Don happened, where he's like, why don't you just do this for a living? And I'm like, man, I'm going to try it out. And at the time I had a 5D Mark III room. And honestly, like since then, I never really looked back, bro. It kind of, like, I look back at the work that I did back then and it looks like shit, bro. For real, I'm like, oh my God, rule of thirds. My ISO is fucked up. Like, dude, this guy's fucking back's facing me. Like, dude, it was trash, bro. But people paid me for it, man, you know, and you know, cause I think it's just cause they liked me as a person back then. We had such a badass studio, bro, in Tamuning too, man, that, you know, ripped the studio, but you know, things are like a lot better now. And it's going back from that. Like I just,
the one where we did the
Melker. When you got Melker. Yeah. That was a badass fucking studio, bro.
Hey, dude. That was dope. I was like, I didn't even know this existed up here.
I brought some chicks up there too, man. It was fun. Bro. But anyways, like Man, like it wasn't until like that conversation with Don that happened. And funny thing about that is I got in trouble for Milker for drinking while I was supposed to pick up someone from the airport after that. And I was like, fuck Don, you got me in trouble, man. It was fun though. But there's a lot of influential people in my life that helped me through photo and video production and stuff like that. I'm not a cinematographer, I'm a videographer. Huge difference, you know,
Right.
stuff like that. But then like Kyle and Nico,
They're more cinematic.
yeah,
right?
they're from Mighty Island cinematography, the best in Guam, bro. Fuck. By
I
far.
gotta say, our region.
Yeah, for real, you know. But then you also have
Didn't they
project.
do the Iditarod
I'm not too sure.
in Alaska?
I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, I never heard about that before.
They did something in Alaska.
But like, yeah,
Maybe it was for Matson.
so those guys fucking like are big influence for me. You know, when I ask questions from Kyle to help me out, dude, you know who's a really fucking big influence for me is Neil Romero, dude. That guy taught me
Inspire, right?
Yeah, Inspire. Right? He taught me how to edit fucking fast, bro. And like, you know, what's crazy with Justin Badavino is
It's all about hotkeys.
yeah, bro. Is
But it's good.
I shot the funeral for him, man. Rest in peace, bro. And like for me to be trusted to shoot that funeral for them, it meant a lot, you know.
Yeah.
at the time.
They did one of my friends' weddings. Yeah, and like they're just the way they worked, right? It was like
Bro, Project Inspire.
pretty impressive. I didn't know who they were, but when they were shooting and like directing us and telling us what we need to do and stuff, I was like, damn, these guys are pretty fucking
Yeah,
professional,
fuck
dude.
yeah, they're great
And
guys.
this was
bro.
back in 2013, 14. So
Yeah, that's a while.
that was a while ago, dude.
Bro. But then yeah, so you have those guys. You have Mike Adeline, Project Inspire. Then you also have like, you know, JD Artis. He gives me a lot of great advice too from business standpoint. And then fuck man, there's other people, bro. Brian Munia,
You don't have to
James
name-
Davis.
you
Yeah.
don't have to
Bro,
name them all.
I just feel like I would be doing disservice if I left their name out, you know?
The whole show's gonna be a shout out.
Anyways, other than that, no, for me, it's because I'm a product of people. I'll never say I did it by
Oh,
myself,
man,
bro.
that's awesome, dude.
I'll never say I did it by myself, bro, because I did it, man. I literally
very admirable.
I literally had people dragging my ass like to make it, bro, because they saw me fuck up, bro. Back in like 2016, they were like dragging me to make it, bro.
Yeah,
And I'll never forget that.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
I mean, life gets tough in that way where you kind of feel lost and you kind of need those people to guide the way for you sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
bro. Even like the Mateo brothers and Doug Perez, man, those guys fucking stick by my side a lot, bro. And like, what's crazy, bro, is like I wouldn't like be in this like in a life where I was really sorry, man.
No, you're good.
Where I was
you're
like
good.
where I was really where I know where I want to go now. You know, like I know where I want to go. I know how to get there.
It's just it's clear now.
Yeah, everything's like I know exactly where my life's gonna go now if I stick with it, and it's gonna be fucking badass. But I want to fucking sacrifice all that to be involved in Guam, bro. Like as much as the great things happen in my life, I want to fucking give it all away because I want to be part of this island's like growth. I want to like be part of the people's growth. Like, I want to be a voice for like us, you know, where there's lack of transparency, I want to be able to provide that transparency, and it means important for me so I can give back to people because they put me here in a position, you know, and a lot of times it's very irresponsible to forget those things that people do for you, and there are people that forget those things for you, man. So like, let's just say like let's say you have like someone you look up to. And like you see them get attacked by someone, like, dude, King Cook has fucking been a really supportive part of me as well. But then when I see people attacking his family, like, you know, like saying stuff like that, I don't like it, man, because of that. But then it's like at the same point, it's like people like I feel it's like my duty to tell them like, hey, bro, you think this fucking job is easy too, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So it's like, man, like I try to give back to everyone that's helped me out. We're like this podcast helped me out. I'll give back to you in the future, stuff like that. And for me,
I mean, we don't want to see people fail, right? Despite the differences.
We're on the plane, you're the pilot.
In political view, right? And this was just mentioned last night.
Yeah, for real.
Right? I mean, despite the political views that we have in terms of anybody who is in public office here on Guam, because public office like is different here on Guam than it is in the States, right? And because it matters so much because now you can be directly judged by the people who you live in the same island with. And
that's
I'm
all
pretty
they're
sure that's
looking
hard
at,
to
bro.
learn, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I grew up. I didn't grow up in politics, but the last 10 years of my life has been involved in local politics and trying to understand what's going on, you know. And when my dad lost in 2016, it was an acceptance, like, dude, this is what the people want, right?
Yeah.
And in 2018, it's like, this is what the people want.
Yeah.
And despite those losses, it's like we're not gonna judge based off of like attack personal.
Yeah, I should never attack nobody, bro.
What is that? Personal things about people.
Yeah.
You know, because we're all fucking live right in this boat.
Yeah, man. I don't like smearing,
right?
bro. I don't like smearing. Like, I'm sorry, people are gonna.
There's a difference between smearing, right, and stating facts, right, and being able to state, like, okay, maybe some of these decisions were kind of wrong.
Yeah, for
and
real.
maybe you need to change it to maybe get us back on your side, right?
Like me, I totally hate smearing, bro. Like, no matter what applications used in. And, you know, I'm very supportive of Robert Underwood, but when I see the smear campaigns on Michael Singleton's mouth, it just really leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because I feel like he could be better than that, you know. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I have a dislike of his policy. It's just a interpersonal relation thing where I don't like the smear thing, because for me it brings me back to bullying, which is a trigger, and I hate fucking bullies, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to even like the last gubernatorial campaign, right? It was like it got dirty in the end.
Yeah, they always get dirty, bro.
And I think that's what that's what discouraged people from going out into the polls.
But this is also this stems back to the reason why, like, I want to, like, I'm gonna be real, like, I want to fucking run for senator about in the future, man. 2024, 2026. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do it, but I know that people will support me. And the thing is, I don't want to do it with the party, bro, because I just feel like it just caused more division than it has. Like, why can't we just judge people predicated off of their policy and ideology and stuff? Why does it always have to be in the party? And this is gonna piss people off, but, like, it is what it is, and it's my belief, you know, for real. And I really hate that, because you're associated with one group, that it's like totally alienates you from the other. And it's like, why is it like this? You know, because of the party system, you know. I think what was it, George Washington, who said the end of democracy is when parties exist, political parties exist. Like, he said something like that. Like, don't quote me on that, but, like, it just, I go back to history when I'm thinking about how I should run myself and run my life, because they said history repeats itself, a lot of things like that. One of the main things for the strategies of war is never repeat the same battle, or never use the same tactics to win your next battle, you know. And so I'm always going to things looking for, like, a new perspective of how I should, like, approach something from. So that in this standpoint, it's just really, like, I was trying to quantify, or not quantify is not the right word, but I was trying to, like, determine, like, why is there so much division on Guam when it comes to our government, and, like, the party system is just really, it's just a mess, man, when it comes, like, when they're trying to agree on something, and it really discourages me as a citizen, you know. And for me right now, I feel like a lot of people support me in my age group, my generation, and I think if they have a chance to hear this, it will make them think, you know. Like, we need to work together on these things, man, especially when you're dealing with a virus like COVID right now. There's a lot of things that are on both sides that are hindering progress.
I mean, but we have to understand that it's hard because of the judgment, you know, to be a political candidate, you know, and I think that's the hardest thing about even just wanting to run, is putting yourself in the fire on purpose.
True. Because,
you know, you believe in something, or you want something to happen, and as easy as it sounds,
it's hard.
It's fucking hard, bro. It's hard, dude. I've watched it. I've seen it. I've seen the stress that it causes.
I'm sure,
you know?
bro.
And it's like, it's not a only when we're in session kind of deal. It is a 24-hour a day job. You know,
one of my OGs told me yesterday that if you do that with Kin, you're gonna have 14 buses, and I don't understand exactly what he means by that. You know, it's a very respected person, but then for me, it's like, you know, that's where I get my knowledge from. Like,
you have 165,000 bosses.
Yeah, for real, bro, straight up like that, man. But I'm not sure. I'll talk to him later what he meant for that. But at the end of the day, for me, man, it's just like, I don't want to like Murphy's Law is so important to me. Like, if it's bound to happen, or if there's possibility to happen, it's gonna happen. So it's like, if I choose which side to run with, it's gonna be bad shit on both sides. But if I separate myself from them, then it's like I'm just dealing with them. You know, it's like, okay, like, what? You're not gonna work with me because I don't want to be on your side.
Yeah, I wonder if there was a political candidate anytime recently that ran on their own party.
Right. I know there's a lot of information I need to know about this. A lot of people who don't believe in me are probably probably saying right now that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And you know what's crazy is they're right. I don't right now, but I have the next 4 years of my life to figure it out, and 4 years of enjoying my life too, like that. That's one thing that people don't get too, is like, I fucking enjoy my life so much right now. It pisses them the fuck off when I disagree with them, and I'm just like, oh, whatever, then peace out. And then they see something with me, like just fucking like doing something badass, and it's like, fuck, you know. It's basically like, I won't ever say like fuck you to someone unless you're blatantly fucking like being a piece of shit, you know. And then there's some piece of shit Sangwan, bro, like texting me fucking bullshit while they're fucking have cans on their bed and their fucking bed sheets are all fucked up, and you know, shit like that, dude. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here, bro. It's like, no one likes you, you know, straight up like that, man. It's like, I can like, if you could like really like see, like, if I show my DMs and I see like people that message me, man, a lot of these people that post bad shit, it's like their friends are messaging me, bro, like stuff like that, like, you know, like, dude, I support Trump, I support what you say, Ken, blah blah blah, this. And if they were to say that they support me or they support Trump, like, just for an example, their worlds would turn upside down, bro.
Right.
I'm talking
Their
about
friends will fucking pitchfork fucking
for reals,
them,
bro.
right?
And I'm not gonna let that happen then, because that's what I can't stand for, bro.
Yeah.
I stand up for the little guy, bro, all the time, bro. Straight up, man. And like, you know, when I'm like serving, like, let's say like another good example is I put a public notice out for a videographer today, right? Everything like that. And then my boy was like, you know, I got some messages and stuff like that, but I eventually chose Kyle Blas because, you know, we're just like working closer to now, and we're gonna shoot that documentary for Trevin Jones, you know, soon. You know, so fucking like, for my boy was like, yo, just let me know when you have the next one. Like, don't even post it up. And I'm like, bro, I can't do that, man, because that's not, you know, I'm trying to give everyone an equal chance.
Right.
You know, I always want to give everybody an equal chance if it's something that involves me. You know, I guess I cannot be like biased. It'll ruin me in the inside, bro. Because all the people that dragged me to make it told me these things. They fucking put things on my table, bro. Fucking fed me, fucking gave me, dude, I can fucking go ask someone for like $5K right now and they'll give it to me. I fucking go to fucking strip off island with a fucking, you know, shit like that. Like, it's like, just said like that, dude. Like, dude, I can ask for a lot of things.
And you're not trying to brag.
Yeah, I'm not trying to brag, bro, at all. I'm just saying, like, dude, it's earned, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, and I'm like, man, so the sacrifice and giving back is so important to me that when I see people like just seeing people homeless, man, it fucking breaks my heart. Why is there homelessness on Guam? You know, stuff like that, bro. Right. There's people that go out there and they do things and they record it. Like, dude, just do it without recording it, bro.
Like we said earlier, man,
bro.
Change is constant, but change is hard.
Yeah,
man.
for sure, man. I'm sorry, I went off an emotional trip there,
it's
bro.
okay, dude. I mean, here on Guam, it should be an emotional thing because it's something that we should all think about every day, but we know it's obviously a lot of people don't really care.
Yeah.
And people come out to, rather than support something or be in support of something, people will come out and say, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man.
You know, and
politics I'm not about politics.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's hard not to give a fuck because you have to in this microscopic fucking ism that we're staying that we're all living in here on this island.
People can really feel the paradigm shift right now, man. For a lot of things, man. Like we were at like 14 days to stop the spread. Now we're on 100 fucking something days, you know. And like at the same point, like arguing about it, posting nasty shit about it doesn't help, man. Yeah. But for our leaders, like if you hear this and everything, if this ever gets out, like we need some fucking town halls, man. Straight up, bro. We need some fucking discourse between our leaders where like we're not talking on a piece of paper or stuff like that. I'm not singling anybody out, but I'm just being real. Like it's like we want to see some natural conversation between our government and the little guy.
Yeah, I mean, just show us that something is happening, that behind the scenes, or
like we hear you,
the work is being done, you know, and. Sometimes with like 2 weeks of silence, it's hard, right? Or just not giving us the real deal of what it is, or not seeing maybe a legislature not go into session for
like if this person had heart disease, like, tell us he had heart disease,
right,
bro. If this person if this person was like, you know, like on stage 3 cancer, tell us he had stage 3 cancer, you know, and stuff like that. Be transparent.
Yeah,
with us,
especially
please.
if you're gonna announce their names.
Yes,
right? If you're gonna say their names, like, okay, let us know so that if someone I know has that, okay, now their risk just went up.
Yeah,
and, you know,
I told myself I didn't want to make this podcast about like breaking down the scientifics of COVID. I refused. I didn't want to do that because there's a lot of information people can go out there. You know.
Yeah, this is my understanding of COVID right now. Is it's gonna affect everybody. It's not if, it's when. When you're gonna get it. Definitely. But when you get it, how prepared is your body for it?
Definitely.
What are you feeding your body to allow yourself to receive it when it does come? That's my bottom line of everything. Yeah. And whether you're taking the right vitamins, you're drinking enough water, you know, but
It's interesting to see what's happening in Florida now, though, because they basically took off all restrictions, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then there's not much news about it. You know what's crazy? Like when I say like the reason why I'm talking about this is because media likes to not play good news. You know,
Right.
no matter what, bad news makes money,
Right.
and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking right now is like, I'm thinking maybe Florida's doing good. You know, I have a few friends in Florida and stuff like that, and so far they said that everything's pretty good. You know, like they don't see people dying all the time. You know,
Right.
stuff like that. Like we don't see death, and maybe that's why people are very rebellious, because they don't see the death, but there is death happening. Like for anyone that says COVID is fucking fake, it's not fucking fake.
Yeah.
You know, like I as much as I thought some feelings like that before, it's not, you know, it's not fake. It's a fucking virus, and like it affects everyone differently. And to say to be like that is to be very ignorant.
Yeah.
To think that like HCQ or hydroxychloroquine we can just like heal you, like dude, it's not. You don't know. You don't have enough data on it. You know, like
There's
of course
not
it's
enough
a
information,
treatment.
man. Yeah.
You know, so people like on the right will be getting mad at me now because I'm saying it's not fake, but it's not fake, you know, because I can't side with anyone like that, you know, like it just is not part of my chemical structure to be biased like that.
Yeah, me neither, man. That's why like I do my own independent quote unquote research, right? And what people are putting out, the kind of studies that people are putting out, and the kind of doctors that are putting out the information, not the ones that are being fed through the media.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like there's a lot of, you can find a lot of people writing about the studies that they're doing on their own, and YouTube videos that's only getting like 20,000 views, but
man.
because it's not a million views or 10 million views doesn't mean it doesn't have pertinent information. You know,
bro,
like
that's a fucking great way to put it, bro. And like at the end of the day, like you see like stuff like that, but if you press play on that video, you're getting different knowledge now, and then like when you bring that to someone else, then that's when the cognitive dissonance kicks in. So it's like, man, like where did you get that from, bro?
Yeah.
Like, oh look, it only has like 20,000 views, though. You know, like here we go, man. Bro. It's like, hey, here's a police report on Breonna Taylor saying that she wasn't asleep, that she was at the door hallway and everything, and like, nope, not true.
Yeah.
Okay, so the grand jury just made they looked at all the evidence. It was a black DA, obviously he knows exactly what's going to happen if he does this decision. Nope, fuck him. He fucking, and that's like, it's like, you have to look at the rationale, break down everything. And like, you kind of just like be this way because it's what your friends are doing, It's like, dude, I follow the road less traveled. I forgot who made that quote, but like when you're like doing that, you're not making a name for yourself, man. Or like, who is that person that's thinking this way? I'm always willing to listen to people, but then it's like, man, like if you cannot create, if you cannot rationalize to break away from certain things, like there's many things that people can break away from if they're just honest with themselves, but then they choose not to be because it's what's convenient for them, what's their circle, their comfortability. Oh, am I going to lose the ability to do this if I choose to send this way? And that's where like free speech is really being attacked right now, man.
Well, I mean, all the way down to social media.
Yeah,
right?
bro. Dude, bro, like I don't go on Facebook and Twitter for a reason. I feel like Instagram is the most free outlet that I have. That's the only reason why I'm there, bro. Bro, it's because like, dude, I don't even use tags, or I don't put things into certain sentences so they cannot get like flagged and stuff like that. Because I'll have like 600, 700 story views on something, and then I post something about like this on a specific topic, and it's like at 20, and then the next one's like at 500, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck does this one only have 20? It's in between the fucking story, and then it's like, oh, because I posted about human trafficking or something like that. Sorry, that's the H word, bro. Bro, man. Bro, dude.
I feel like this podcast episode is just like the tip of the iceberg of what our future conversations are going to be like.
Reals, dude. I mean, I can go in on Epstein, bro. To be completely honest.
Let's not go on
let's not get on that one.
We're gonna go way too far off our original intention of how we wanted to talk about.
Right now, I really feel like this is a podcast for like you getting to know me and me getting to know you better.
Yeah, man.
And like the history between this, man, and it really feels like
because our relationship has only like really been in passing, right?
Yeah,
and
it's like fucking FD alumni tournament.
Like
what's up, bro?
Like we'll hang out, and like talk, but having like this kind of in-depth conversation, I don't think we've ever had the opportunity to.
Definitely not, man. But like it's cool to finally be here though. And I think the first time you asked me, I was just really nervous, man. And like, I was like, man, maybe it's not best. Like, I don't feel like I'm ready, And then for the last 3 weeks, I've been constantly trying to immerse myself in these topics. So I don't say anything that's detrimental to the way I want to convey myself, and stuff like that.
For sure.
And, like when I'm talking about like things where I've learned and stuff. Like I always avoid being proselytized into learning something, and like to like
What is that word?
It's to try to like change someone's opinion based to try to change someone's opinion using like certain tactics and stuff like that, where it's not like kind of like not like morally right, you know, and stuff like that. It's like trying to force it on someone.
I got you.
Bro. And then like when you think about like the reason why I like Trump, and when people try to change my opinion on Trump like that, it's like, man, it can't work, because I've been there, I've had this conversation many times, and I've looked at the information, and I'm sorry, but I can't change my view based on the information that I hold true.
Right.
Because everyone's going to hold different information true. Some people are going to think Nick Sandman's a racist little white boy. Some people are going to say that the fucking Indian guy came up to him, you know? But when it's all said and done and it goes to the fucking court.
That was the one that happened in front of
Sandy Kids, yeah, I think so. Yeah, the Lincoln Rose, the Sandy Kids school, high school or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, man. So like, dude, the kid fucking went to court. Right. They fucking sent everything on him. And that's one thing that people need to see. When you see the whole legacy media acting in Legion, you can automatically tell and come to a conclusion that they're all having this bias on them. But then when you avoid like just looking at things on both sides, like you got to look at both sides in these things and determine what's truthful for yourself. And I'm sorry if their world got rocked when you won that fucking lawsuit from them, but hey, man, that's what fucking happened. They fucking sent everything at the kid, and they lost. Yeah. Same thing that's gonna happen with Kyle Rittenhouse. They're gonna send everything at this kid, and they're gonna fucking lose, and then they're gonna start the riots and everything like that, because they don't know how fucking gun laws work and shit like that. Of course, he wasn't supposed to be holding the gun, but hey, man, if it wasn't for fucking 16-year-old kids with rifles, we would all be British right now. Seriously, man.
Good point, man.
Bro. I like to think of things like history. I say a lot, man. For reals, bro. And I'm like, man, dude, like, the people that he fucking shot were fucking felons and shit. They weren't fucking no fucking protesters, bro. The dude the reason why he fucking shot the first dude is because he came after him after he extinguished a dumpster fire. And I'm just talking about these things because, like, looking at things that get talked about from, they're sensationalized in the news, right? They're sensationalized. And like, dude, it's just, people like to try to turn people's views on it. They like to use word salad. I like to say, like, some people like to use complex words in a sentence to try to make it feel like the other person's lower than them. You know, like you don't understand because you don't know the meaning of this word. Yeah. Bro, and it's like, dude, fuck you. That's bullying. I hate that shit. You know, it's like, dude, I'll call people out, bro, like that, man. Bro, so it's like I can play word salad too sometimes if I want to, but it's like, man, just tell people the truth, bro. Yeah. You know, like, be truthful about yourself and stuff like that. Say that Donald Trump's not a fucking murderer, racist, all this shit, you know? Bro, because there's a lot of people that love him, and then people freak out when they find out certain people are on his side. Right. Bro, you got people like, fuck, man, so many people in my generation message me that they wish they could say it, but it's like they're trapped in there because obvious reasons, but
right, it could be work, it could be
for sure, man.
Right, or it can just be, like you said, the people that they surround themselves with, right, their friends or family or whatever it may be.
Definitely, bro. But like, you know, for me, I'm happy where I am in terms of disseminating information, like when it comes, you know.
I think it's good. I think the information you do put on is it's not radical.
Right? Yeah, I try not to be, you know.
I mean, I feel like there is some like, oh shit, you fucking posted that, cool.
Yeah,
it's like, oh wow.
But it's like, you know, like I talk to people, like I have like a couple group chats, man, for like health stuff like that. You know, like I made a decent relationship with Joe Davis, who is a CDC representative, he would always go to Coffee Slip before and watch Maddie Sublime sing. Great fucking singer, by the way. Yeah. And like I just built a friendship with him, and he would give me some info, like, you know, nothing crazy, but he would just give me a professional take on things I asked him. And then from like, you know, from on the law enforcement side, I'm in a chat with a bunch of Leos, former and current, you know, and stuff where we share opinions and stuff like that, you know. So like for me, it's like I'm not just acting on my own. I take information even from my side and even from my friends. I have to be able to be honest with them when I think that they're wrong too, even if we're in agreement in a group level, you know. Right. And to own up to stuff like that really shows a humane understanding that you can devy between what's biased, what's real, rationalize, coming to come to a conclusion, and just be like, this is what I believe in.
Yeah, those are the best conversations, man.
For sure. Sure. What is it? I forgot what his name is, but Ladronis on fucking Instagram. But we completely
John Bermudez.
Yeah. Wait, no. What's his? Ladronis.
Ladrone Creative.
No. He's an artist. It's not John. I know John though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But another guy. But like, man, me and him disagree on like almost everything politically. But I respect him and I respect the conversations I have with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it can be like, okay, what do you think of this, bro? Like, man, dude, yeah, man, it's pretty fucked up that he fucking pulled the DACA rights from them, man, or something like that, or like, you know. And I can be real when one of my homegirls posted like a couple days ago where Trump fucking lied about fucking the sheriff of Portland supporting him. Like, I'm like, yeah, he fucked up with
Yeah,
that.
he did
you know?
fuck up with that.
I'm like, yeah, he fucked up with that, you know. And I'm just like, man, you know, he's playing his game, bro. You know, it's a dirty game, bro. House of cards, you know.
It is,
Reals,
man. That's some real shit.
For real. So I can acknowledge when my preferred candidate fucks up, and you know, but from a moral compass scale is like what I believe in is like he's not all that bad with the
No, Ken, how can you support that?
reals,
How
dude.
can you support
A
that?
racist, you know, everything like that.
Stand down and stand back? What do you have to say about that?
And then it's like, okay, so the way that was asked was called a bait and switch. I mean, like that, you know, and stuff like that, you know, and like it's like, oh nope, kid, bro. I'm like, okay, bro, it ain't gonna affect me, man, and everything. Like people who try to put negativity into my life, they're not going to affect me because I've been through some of the lowest of the lows and the worst shit, bro. To be right now, where I'm just numb to so many things, and right now, I just feel like I finally like come to the point where I have this understanding of life where I know how to accomplish things. You know, I know how to talk to people, to comfort people, to tell people to get the fuck away from me and shit like that, and to remain professional in like certain like aspects where normally someone might just be emotional, you know, and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm not gonna be radical, as you said earlier. I'm always going to look at things both ways, and I think it's very important that people look at things both ways when they think about how the government's treating COVID now, when they think about things happening in the States, when they think about racial injustices. People need to have that ability to just look at the whole thing as a big picture.
Yeah.
You know, like face value is face value, but when you get into the nits and details of the picture, you start to see where things are drawn to, you know, like it just becomes like either like a trend or it becomes something completely different from that. And I'm just here right now. Like I love my life, man. I love my life. I love my son. My son's mother is amazing, you know, and stuff like that. We're not together, but she's a great woman, you know. And then I'm just in a good environment where I'm supported by the right people, in my opinion, bro. Real, and I'll always use what I have to help others, because that's all I'm at. Like my biggest problem they tell me is I care too much, you know. But it's like I can't help it, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't realize how you know how much you progressed and like moved along from watching you shoot or make videos until I saw you at a EDC and, and you were shooting there, and I was like, what the fuck did this guy do this?
Shout out to
like I didn't
Wang.
realize how fucking far along you were in at least getting those kind
of... You know what? I don't like to bring that up too much because people say I bring that up all the time. I'm like, you know, initially what happens is like, hey guys, dude, I got a fucking photo press pass for EDC. Look at it. Posting it everywhere. And then everyone's like, Ken, shut the fuck up about EDC career already. I'm like, okay, man, okay. I'm not going to bring it up anymore. I'm not going to bring it up. But I did. And, you know, it's crazy. A lot of people fucking haters.
Impressive, man.
Yeah, a lot of people were haters because of that, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, they're like, why the fuck does Ken get to fucking photo press pass for EDC?
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking went there. I went through everything. I went backstage, saw some of the top artists in the world, bro. And like again, I'm trying to talk in a way where I'm not coming off as like flamboyantly fucking asshole about it, you know. Yeah. But it did happen, and shout out to Wang for trusting me enough as someone who works for him, as an like, you know, part of his team, to send me out there, to hook me up with the Insomniac team and everything like that. Dude, it was amazing, bro. It was fucking amazing,
I can't
bro.
even imagine, dude.
But you know what really it kills me at the end of it, going back to like when you do things for people but then they turn on you. At the end of that, I was staying with the Guam house, right? And then, you know, I was like, man, thank you so much for staying in my house. I took them to dinner that night. You know, I paid for like fucking like 12 people, you know, took care of their whole dinner. And then these are the same people that saw me being kind and now turned because of something like this.
Right.
So when you see someone who's kind of somewhat successful and kind enough to show you something like that, then if you see something that you don't agree with, that should make you think that, why is this guy that I've had a good relationship with, I appreciated him, why is he choosing this? Like, is it because he's a fucked up person? Because that can't be possible, because he showed me kindness.
Yeah, because I know him.
Yeah, but then it's like, dude, like, take some time to listen. Because like there's bad people like right who will be straight up like nah fuck you, fuck Biden sucks, fucking blow Trump this, Trump 2020 longer baby, shit like that, bro, straight up. But I'm gonna be like my opening remark always is like I support Trump from a globalist standpoint where he's attacking globalism, man. It's very blatantly obvious he is, bro. And then dude, so many fucking major leaders in the world support his ass, man. The peace deals, everything. He got nominated for the 3rd Nobel Peace Prize, bro. And I'm just like man, going back to like when I accomplish things or like the kind of people, it's like, man, you shouldn't think of someone like that so fast to make judgment, just because they don't agree with you.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart sometimes, bro, because I wish I had relationships with certain people still, certain people I blocked. I wish I had relationships with them, but they left me no choice, bro. Constant brick walls, bro. They will never give Trump a fucking inch of fucking credit. You could cure cancer and they'll still be pissed off. Yeah. I love saying that one because it's true.
He can have the vaccine for coronavirus before the election,
and then you'll still want to fucking vaccines are crazy, bro, with the way they work. But let's not get into that, man. I'm just saying, like,
well, here's the real question: would you take one if it becomes available?
I will have to look at the information first, bro.
I think so, and that is a intelligent answer, because that is exactly what I would do. I would question every aspect of it, especially how long it's taking it to come about. Right?
When new things come out, like I'm not just talking about
2-3 years for some of these drugs, just regular drugs that you have to be prescribed for.
Let's talk about this with the comparison. So the PS5 is coming out soon, right? It's coming out like in like October, November. But when that thing comes out, it's gonna be bugged the fuck out. It's gonna have so many fucking bugs in it, everything like that.
For sure.
But I still want it. But but I'm saying like, man, it's
do like an update every 2 weeks.
Yeah, bro. It's gonna take me fucking 24 hours just to get in my first game because the server's gonna be fucked up. But I'm saying like when I like, that's how I like to think about things, like like comparing it to like shit in real life like that. But like I think in terms of the vaccine, it's going to be really hard to convince people to take it based on your political affiliation, bro. Bill Gates makes it first, who's going to take that automatically. Trump makes it, who's not going to take that, bro. Right. And it's just like we're in that world right now. Fucking dystopia, bro. Like, I swear to God, man. Like, we're in that world where some people literally live in fucking fairy tale land because of the mental struggles that COVID has placed them. Let's just say for once that this was all planned. A political civil plot was planned and all this. They fucking good, bro, at it, bro. If it was a plan, right? But let's just say for instance that it actually did come out of a bat and it just got released into the world, right? And it's like okay, like with when I'm talking about China, like we're kind of going off train of thought here, but it's like, man, that's like you cannot like have like a certain opinion about something and then just flip flop on it if you hear new information. Like I don't know, man. I kind of lost myself in that one, but you feel me, man.
No, I feel you. I mean, even with like trying to get to understand. I was asking my friend who got COVID and lived through it, and
survivor.
I was like, so what do you think about it? He's like, it's definitely not. It's definitely man-made. That's what he said. Like, it was nothing like I ever experienced, but I lived through it. And this is how we should live. We should accept that we're gonna survive. People are gonna survive this.
It just trips me out again, going back to like the people who are couples and then one gets it, then one doesn't. It fucking trips me out.
Yeah, man.
But there's new information about like the type O blood types, right? Something like that. It's harder for them to get COVID. Type O.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
I had
the one I've been really eyeing was the vitamin D stuff.
Oh yeah, like everyone's pumping vitamin C, and then you find out that vitamin D is what you need.
It's the one that you.
That's like sunlight too, right?
Sunlight, right? But see, darker people like myself, I'm
you have more melanin.
Well, it's harder. It's harder for darker people to synthesize sunlight and convert it into vitamin D.
Yeah.
Right. So crazy. It's that's the problem we're having. And
I haven't heard that in the news, man.
You don't, and that's the thing is that you don't. It's the stuff that you have to go out and like read. Yeah. Right. And of course, vitamin D, you put too much vitamin D in your body, it's toxic for you, right? Completely toxic for you. It can actually kill you.
Damn. That's crazy, bro.
So, but that's why throughout this whole thing, we waited for the world government, the local government to tell us what we need to do. And in my opinion, 7 months through it with no real direction of how we're supposed to live through this, or survive it. So thank goodness for the internet, right?
Day to day for some
if
people,
this
bro.
was the Spanish flu, people would just die.
Straight up,
Right?
bubonic plague, die, bro.
Yeah,
bro.
they just die. They just die without even being able to do research. Just the fact that we're able to do research on this,
Yeah.
I always like to do research,
right,
quote unquote, air quotes, research.
Where are you getting your
because-
information from?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And I've come to believe because it was a skeptical thought at the beginning of COVID that vitamin D doesn't work, but over the last like 4 studies that they're doing, they're finding that it's like even decreasing ICU risk.
Yeah. Well, like when you see like the tolls of cases going up, but the death tolls not, like I forget, it was it Cabrera's model that initially had us at around 500 deaths at this point in time?
No, it wasn't like 5,000 deaths.
5,000?
Wasn't it 5,000 deaths or like 4,000 deaths by July?
I thought it was 500 by June, by November, but either way, we're at 50, right?
I think he was in the thousands by the time in like April or something like that.
Yeah. Well, like I don't want to call him a liberal, but a good older person I look up to told me that one of the problems.
I like how you prefaced with that.
Yeah. One of the problems that Guam has is facility problems, and lack of nurses and lack of facilities and stuff like that, because people don't want to come to Guam for work because of pay or stuff like that. He was trying to break it down. He's on team COVID.
Okay.
COVID's a really bad problem, and it is. But like for me, it's like there's some certain things where I leave out where I feel like it's not as crazy as what the
It's
world
being sensationalized as, man.
Bro,
and
like-
the media really feeds off of it. Both
the fear chamber for sure, man.
Both the national media and the local media, dude. And it's kind of disheartening because we're feeding off of the emotions of humans here.
Yeah, true.
Right? Like, why not tell us what we need to do?
Like,
Why
I'm not gonna lie, I get scared when I'm starting to get close to a group of people, and because my son was born with a lung disorder, so I'm like, I'm fucking, trying to make sure I have a dog in this fight, straight up, man. And at the end of the day, it's like I cannot say COVID is fake. I cannot say that because it's not, So when people do stuff like that, you're really, really, really not providing anything towards creating a solution. It's like going back to the thing. I think right now what we need is some town halls where we can talk to, our government officials or even like mayors and stuff like that. So we can talk to like, hey, can we at least make some food drives, donations and stuff for people who are hurting? Philip Letty, bro, he's a part of I forgot what a certain thing he's part of, but he does donations like food drives, diaper drives and stuff like that. Great guy, man, too, for that. But then I remember they're being attacked for doing that. If I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, but it's like, man, these people are trying to help others survive this because they
there was
care.
a point where you couldn't donate like medical supplies to people. Right?
Yeah, true. It's crazy, man. It's like, are we really in this together? Are we really in this together, bro?
Who's winning?
But it's like I don't think it's being used on Guam for any kind of political reasons, like despite what people have told me. But I really feel like
COVID?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I mean, like, people have really tried to push that onto me, and I'm just like really trying not to, like, maybe I'm experiencing.
What do you mean pushed for political reasons?
Like how like fucking like they say like the government or not the government but the hospital gets like 4,000 for a COVID case, 12,000 for a death.
I see.
Stuff like that, like in terms of like trying to like.
That's why they keep saying it's COVID.
Yeah, COVID related or stuff like that. Like for me, when people are trying to push that onto me, it's like I cannot agree with it, man. But maybe that's me experiencing cognitive dissonance. But for me, it's like I don't believe our government's like that. I don't believe they're shady and fucked up. I don't believe they want us to fail.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe that because Guam's culture tells us to take care of each other and stuff like that. Right. Despite what everyone says, you can have your opinion. I'm just saying what I think is. I'm not trying to think that my government's out here to hurt the island.
And you want the government to do good.
Yeah, I want the government to do good. I'm on the plane. I don't want the pilot to crash the plane. Straight up, man. I want to live, bro.
I think we mentioned that.
Yeah, we mentioned that a lot, man. That was my original rhetoric with Trump, bro. That was my original rhetoric with Trump. It stuck with me for so long.
Because you weren't originally a Trump supporter.
No, bro. Like, to be honest, man, I kind of like just thought. I mean, he was cool, but I kind of thought he was an asshole, man.
Yeah.
And let's be real, man. I was like, fucking Howie, bro. Like, I've said that before, man. I'm guilty of fucking certain race things like that, bro. Bros, man. Like, I'm like, dude, like, it made me fucking realize, like, through all this stuff, like, how stereotypical I was in the past and, like, how everybody was. People are like, oh, race issues this, but bitch, you fucking said this way long before, or you talked about this race stuff like that, So it's like, it's all like a general, what I feel like came out of this is it taught people to be self-aware about who they are as a person and how to treat people. you know, because for me, I wasn't always the nicest person before, man. For real, let's say that. And then now, these issues have turned me into what I am now, and I feel like I've finally arrived to the world where I want to like go out there and make a difference. Not like make a difference, but to say like that's really cliche to say, but you know what I'm saying? Like trying to use my fucking God-given talents right now to create some kind of positivity in my island, at least for now.
For sure, man.
You know,
and that's very important for all of us to think about as far as like trying to find out what's best for this. That's why I'm really glad they decided to like open things up.
Yeah, man.
Right? Let the businesses try. And it's awesome that you are letting the businesses try and slowly work our way getting back to where we need to be.
Yeah, like for businesses too, like maybe all you need to do is really like follow the protocols and just follow them to the teeth. You know, like hire a sanitation company like Clean 360 from Mike Tyson, a great guy, to like, you know, sanitize business, because sometimes maybe people just need to see something like that. And this is not just an endorsement. I'm sorry.
Shameless plug.
Man, bro. Sorry. Hey, Mike, I got your back, man. Bro, so it's like...
That being said, Matty B has a lawn servicing company.
Nice.
I think we want to promote here while Ken's promoting things.
Bro, man, I'm like, dude, sorry, I fucked up. Yeah.
Call Matt
bro. Bros. But yeah, man, so like do certain things, man. It's like little things like that, just like add that placebo effect on people, and you know, it works for people. Maybe it's your choice to come here or not, you know?
Yeah.
Bros,
for sure, dude. And it's important for us to be able to work together, you know, and I don't know how well, you know, the current government is working together with everybody or playing nice and stuff, but you know, it feels like it's been a disservice to a lot of us people. You know, a lot of people. I don't want to say us people, but just a lot of people.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah. What do you mean, us people? That's not even a word. I mean, to, like you said earlier, like just be a little bit more transparent with us. You know, let us know certain things, and let us be privy to information, right? And
that's a good way to put it, man.
And it's well. You know, I mean,
you know, maybe
we're all going through this together.
Maybe it's because like people aren't used to like seeing Lou out there like that, because Uncle Eddie had a lot more vivacity. Like he was more like, like just out there and stuff, and they felt more attached to them. But right now, like given the situation, maybe they feel less attached to Lou, you know, but I wish her all the best and everything, of course, because I want the island to do good. But I feel like we're so used to having like a certain way things are done before too. Was it like a Republican governor for the last 4 terms? Something like that?
16 years.
16 years. Oh yeah. Fuck
16 years. It was Republican governor for 16 years and Democratic majority in the legislature. I think for a long time. I think the last time was like early 2000s. I don't really know.
So is it safe to say that Guam is more of a conservative landscape because of that?
No, because you know, like they're still. Man, that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. You know what I mean? Because you still...
I'm not trying to profile the island.
No, I still think that up to now, that differences between Democrat and Republican on Guam is still really blurred.
Yeah.
You know, you find people on the Democrat side doing Republican things.
There's
right?
rhinos and dinos, bro. Bros, man.
And so, I mean... It's like you said, it's the party system that kind of screws us up. But you know, everything needs a foundation. You need a foundation to lie your ideals on, because that's what the history of what Guam is about. What Guam government is about. When the first legislature was an island, or we got our first governor,
it grew a lot, right? The legislature. In terms of like seats or something like that?
Yeah. It used to be, actually, it got less. I think it used to be 21 at one point.
And we didn't have the legislature building for a long time, right? Just recently, like maybe last year?
Yeah, in 2018 is when they opened up. Or 20...
Near the church, right?
16?
Cathedral?
It was 2016 they opened it. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the original Congress building, and the other one they were renting for a long time.
It's interesting how things get passed, because when people see things like we going back to face value, when they see like, oh, president issues this executive order, like they don't realize that, hey, it's not gonna happen, bro. This is just like him throwing stuff out, and then when like Nancy Pelosi says something, like that's not gonna happen, because like when you understand like how the things like the checks and balances work, it really opens up my mind on how these people play things, bro. bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just throw stuff out there to just make a movement happen or something like that.
See what sticks kind of deal.
See what sticks or see like a public's reaction and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. And I think that's what we could be doing locally too, is like trying something, put something out there, right? And
but you know who's not a part of the checks and balances is the people,
Right.
you know? So like we don't have a vote. We vote our people in, you know? So that's why I want to really push for like educating like my constituents and my younger generation to get to voting, why we should vote, why we need to care, everything like this,
agreed.
you know?
Agreed.
Like in high school, man, they fucking teach you all this shit, but they don't teach you how to file your taxes, how to fucking do like every shit like that. And like, what are you going to expect in life, you know?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's all education, right? And that's like a whole nother fucking
Yeah, a whole another fucking, let's not get
whole another fucking podcast, bro. I mean, and I've been having conversations with the friends who are teachers also, dude, and it's like,
yeah, man.
it's like, dude. And I also read an article, you know, or so teachers, people, friends who have kids in the public school system, and I read an article that was saying like this is gonna affect kids like socially, like playing, being able to play and interact is what makes a kid.
Man,
right?
bro.
But yeah, let's not dive too deep into
one
that.
of the craziest things is when I put the mask on my son, and then it's just like just seeing the kind of the fear in the eyes, you know, you can feel that, man, and it really makes me, you know, fear myself, like what is this happening? Like I feel like this is one of the good topics to end with and stuff is the mental effect that COVID's had, you know, because I don't know much information about suicides or stuff like that that's happened in Guam. I know there has been, but for me, it's like we're in a place where we're set up for failure in terms of this specific topic because we can't just go over to someone and given the rules and the laws that are in place, policies in place, we can't just go over to someone that needs help if they need it. But I would no matter what, bro. Like I'd risk getting COVID to save someone's life. Yeah, 100%. Everyone, I feel like everyone, decent person would be real to that, you know. But then at the end point, it's like it just doesn't seem like it seems like we're playing from behind in terms of the mental health aspect, you know, Guam, you know, stuff like that. And thank God Project Inspire put some stuff out there for people to see and just to hear. I really hope everyone pushes their stuff. You know, I do firmly endorse them. But, you know, it's where are we at with mental health, you know, and I really haven't really heard the government address it, you know, stuff. I'm just really hoping that we look at everything, you know.
Yeah. What was the statistic? There was like getting like 100 calls a day or something like that.
Yeah.
On just people like their hotline, right? Was it something? It was some ridiculous number, dude. I might be getting like the unit, the day or the week wrong. It was like up to 100 calls a day or a week, something like that. I'm not gonna put out misinformation.
No, for sure, man. It's just like. Oh, like when certain topics come up, man, it's like I'm doing something, and then when certain topics come up, it's like, okay, I'm putting down this, and I'm gonna talk to this person, bro. And honestly, sometimes all it needs, bro, is someone to talk to you, man, bro. Give you a little bit different perspective on how to do things. There's always a way out, man.
Yeah,
I was there, bro, too. That's why.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, that's why I love like doing this. You know, this is like a form of therapy for me.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely.
And we all need that. We all need that person or companionship or someone to talk to or feel like we're safe. Everything's gonna be all right. So I have a friend, and I won't mention his name or
anything, no worries. Anonymity is important.
He has a friend, and there's a group of friends who had to get together because one of their friends in their inner circle was COVID really affected them, and they like gained 50 pounds.
Damn.
Like, super depressed.
Holy
just
shit.
stopped taking care of themselves. And what they started doing for them is they go to their place of business, and then they walk from Tamuning, you know, up north, far, dude, like hours. They walk for hours to just let their friend know, like, man, everything's gonna be okay. We're here for you.
Yeah,
and we're gonna be here for you, you know, despite that. And these are real things that people are going through, right?
Yeah,
people are going hungry,
bro. Hunger,
people
man.
are getting stressed out because now they have to teach their schools. Teach their kids stuff that they don't really understand, and they don't know if their kids are understanding what they're getting on Zoom.
Holy shit! I've walked into like someone yelling at their kid. One of my family members yelling at kid and my nephew, and I was just like, whoa, but I was like, I'm not about to have an opinion on this, but I'm just like, holy shit, man.
Bro, and it's causing trauma to people in that respect. Like, it's gonna make people go crazy.
Yes, definitely, bro. And like, man, like there's certain things that just need to be addressed, and we just want it to be addressed. We want to just know that like you guys care about these things, and I know they do. And I like I said, I'm a firm believer that our government's not out to get like fucking like, they're not trying to fuck up the economy. They're not trying to do this, man. I don't think that, bro. I just don't want to feel like we're not being cared about, man, as a people. But we just need more transparency, man. Like we're saying, if someone had heart disease, they died from COVID, please let us know that. If someone had stage 3 cancer when they died, please let us know that. If someone freaking fell off a motorcycle bike and cracked his neck, but he had COVID, let us know that. I'm not saying it happened, but like, it's just, I just really feel like right now the discourse is not really a good thing, like in terms of the lack of.
I get you. Like, I get where you're trying to stand, too, right?
I'm trying not to piss some people off.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's easier to have a stand on a national sense. When we get to local shit, it's like, it's more personal.
Yeah,
it's
man.
like, bro, you really fucking said that on that podcast?
Yeah,
who's
bro.
that guy? Who's that guy? Buada?
Dude.
Who's it?
When I was like,
that's not his podcast? Let me go on his fucking podcast.
Yeah, man.
No, for sure, dude. I get where you're trying to stand, and it's hard to be critical, to anybody these days.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's like
without worrying about it, like
with the repercussions of what it means, right? And you don't know who's connected, and I think that's why I've like with this podcast, I said earlier, it's like I prevented like trying to talk about politics.
Yeah.
Because it's like it can get that sensitive when you start delving into those conversations or those talks more than fucking do you support Trump or Biden?
Yeah, for real.
Right? Because in the grand scheme of things, we can't even vote for those fucking guys, right?
Can't, but like unless like you're a businessman or something, like there are policies that affect us for sure.
For sure.
Rules. And like we're just fans, man.
Yeah.
Same point. I am a DJT fan, straight up, man. I feel like he's not even part of the Republican Party at a certain extent, man.
Who?
Donald Trump? Yeah, I feel like he's,
Republicans hate him because he
just shits on them during the fucking when he's going to run for low energy Jeb, bro.
He'll live in like shit on people that he appointed. He's like, well, I guess he's wrong. Like who did he say it was his FBI director, right? He's like, well, he's wrong.
Yeah, bro, man. It's like, dude, okay. Like one of the biggest things too right now is like, going back to the Proud Boys is like, oh, but the FBI determined them as an extremist group. Okay, then the FBI also just said that Hunter Biden fucking received $3.5 million for Russia. So where are we at right now?
Yeah.
Where like, are we giving, taking, stuff like that? So like, dude, the one thing I love that happened recently was Trump being exonerated from almost all the Russian shit, bro.
Right.
And then they're still pushing it, bro. Like the degenerate Russia guys. Now I'm fucking like fired up like on this topic, man, because I've been having Russia shoved down like fucking like in my face, bro, for the longest time, bro. And then now it's like that this shit comes out silent, bro. Completely silent, man. And then all this shit comes out with Russia and Biden now, but you want to refute that evidence, and it's like, dude, you're not dude, just be a fucking good person, man. Like, just say what's up,
Yeah.
Bros, man. It's
be
like
real.
just be real,
Yeah.
And, people, but like I said, like some mental things, like people being trapped in the home for the longest time, stuff like that, just affecting them, like lack of funding, stuff like that. Like, I don't want to say like this is derangement or anything, but it definitely is like some kind of negative mindset that's just there because it's what the surroundings around you have caused you to be toxic, or like, or just like mentally inept at agreeing with something that you don't agree with, and it's a polarizing topic, man. Bro, I try not to get.
I know we jumped straight into
Yeah, bro, back in. We're we're fucking on the fucking bungee jump right now. Fucking going back and forth, man.
But it's all related, right? And people back to going to like caring about local politics and caring about our local the state of the local state or the welfare of the island, right? It's important that we pay attention, and it's important that you go out and vote.
Yeah, definitely, man.
November?
Yeah.
And
what is that, ballots are gonna be like 100 people on the ballots right now?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's 15 each side. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
how are they able to narrow it down?
it's just that's the amount of people are running.
No
bro.
shit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like before.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, the landscape of politics on Guam has like changed dramatically.
Yeah.
And because you have now, you can actually hear the local population talking, through social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's everything,
Definitely being
all the
self-aware.
social issues and political issues. Like everybody's voice is being heard.
Yeah, everyone's like, fuck 2020, but at a certain point, you have to appreciate 2020 for allowing you to experience this adversity, you know? Bro, and like, dude, the toughest steel is forged in the hottest fires, man. I would say Frank the Crank told me that, and that's a firm mantra that I take from him, stuff like that. And like, I don't want, like, man, I forgot to shout out Frank, bro. That guy's such, I'm so like, we're so involved with each other's lives at a certain point, and
He's such a good man.
He's been a mentor that helped me through tough times as well.
Yeah, and he's the one that I applaud for when he got COVID. He didn't send the fear and the sad story. His first reaction was
I feel like people were giving him shit too because of that, man.
and they were, it's like, oh, you're not being sympathetic to the thing. It's like,
it's like, no, this is my life. This is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm feeling. This is what I'm doing to take care of myself. This is what I'm doing while I'm in isolation. I'm not gonna sit down and mope around. I'm gonna exercise every single day.
He's always so positive, bro. Like when I flew with him to U2 for the Typhoon U2 stuff, and we made a documentary for Docomo, he was fucking the spirit of fucking everyone there, bro. They saw Frank, they fucking smiling, bro, and everything, and rightfully so, bro. Like, I feel like people don't realize how much he sacrifices and like to keep his persona and his his character, because he has like this character, bro, that's just so out there, and you know it, but then it's like you don't really like see the man. I always have this joke, man, a handshake count when we're in Saipan. Like how many handshakes is he gonna get in one day? For real, dude. Bro, he casted me for this, bro, but it's all good, man.
Dude.
But yeah, like going back to your thing of how he conveyed his
experience.
Yeah, experience is you cannot judge someone on that because it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, man, or how you think it should be portrayed, man. I mean, that's what the popular media is portraying it as, but you're gonna allow this guy, who has his own platform, to be like, yo, guess what?
This is why I'm okay.
We can fucking live through this.
Yeah, I can fight this, man.
We can fight this, or I'm gonna fight this. And I'm not gonna be sad. Yeah, I feel a little bit down today, but I mean, through just taking care of myself, and I'm gonna show you how I take care of myself.
And like you can
so
kind of
important.
like look at the way that Trump caught it, bro. You know how Trump has it? It's when we're talking about people, like how you're conveying, if someone caught it, you can really see, man, some disgusting things being said about him.
Oh yeah, I went on Twitter hashtag Trump has COVID, and oh my god,
and
things that were being said.
Like you've lost all humility if you wish death on someone, and you become the very thing you oppose, which is hate in its purest form. And like I would never wish death on Biden or Pelosi or any of them. And stuff like that. As much as I disagree with the policies, I had a lot of respect for RBG when she passed away. But it's kind of, you can see the way people act. Like I said, if they show you who they are, believe them. And like, man, for Trump to get COVID and see all this shit, man, it's just, man, who are you guys anymore? And I'll die on this. I'll die on this hill, bro, like defending against that hate, bro, because it's not right. And you're all, man, I don't want to say any more about them. The more I give attention to people like that, the more I'm letting them in part of my life.
I mean, dude, even when the governor got COVID, it
bro,
wasn't like
bro, like what the fuck?
It wasn't a laugh in her face. It was like, damn, shit. Well, I hope she fucking does okay.
Yeah, for real,
like this is what I hope that this is. We don't have to lose a leader in order to prove a point or wherever it may be, right? I hope she's okay.
Yep, absolutely, bro. And I wish the best of health for her.
And look, she survived through it.
Yeah,
and
bro. And that's great.
That's
like
the narrative that we're all playing with right now. Right?
And the thing about that too, man, is like when something happens like that, like going back to Trump, they're wishing death on Trump, but you fucking motherfuckers don't realize that your smart leftists are praying for him because of Pence. Because if you don't like Trump, Pence is like Trump times fucking 1 million of shit that you don't like. So your smart friends are praying Trump survives. Because if fucking Trump dies, you get Pence, which is the fucking Insurrection Act button pressing ever since ago, He would have pressed that Insurrection Act button the second there was a first riot, bro. Yeah. So like, he's so crazy. crazy, man. Like, in my opinion, I feel like Pence is like fucking alt-right. And that guy's a scary motherfucker, bro.
He's just too quiet.
For real. That's the guy in the back that's fucking just plotting, man. Like, you know, and he's probably telling Trump all this shit. And Trump's like, nah, I'm not going to fucking do that. Real.
Right.
Like, dude, Trump is a people's person, man. For real. As much as people give him shit, bro.
Agreed.
For real.
He is that people person.
He's a people's person. It's just the media has so much control of what the people think. But now we're in a good age where people just say it's bullshit, you know. And I'm so proud of people for that, man. So proud of like just fucking looking at CNN. I was fucking picking up that fucking gimbal for you like back then, and then it was CNN playing on it, right. They were talking about the fucking I forgot, it was a while ago. But then the person that I was grabbing it from, she was like, "That's bullshit," and I was like, that was bullshit. Fuck yeah, bro, man. Like, dude, I'm so glad people are self-aware about these issues. Yeah. People don't realize the silent majority shit's real, man. And then Trump 100%. Doesn't lose his base. He doesn't lose his base, bro. And he needs to improve on so many things, but he still is such a better candidate, in my opinion, than Biden is, bro.
Agreed.
Bro, even liberals will say that Biden's such a shitty candidate, but fuck Trump. That's the whole point of voting is fuck Trump.
Yeah, they just didn't want Sanders to get in there.
Bro, a less radical Bernie Sanders, like way less radical, would actually be pretty decent. Like, in my opinion, I could see like him being okay for the country, you know, a way less radical.
It's just crazy how how on purpose that they try to shut him down.
Dude, right? AOC doesn't even like Biden, bro. She endorsed Sanders during the DNC. Bros, man, it's crazy, bro. That's so many loopholes, man. But I'm glad the way that our conversation has went so far.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks. Honest, where were we at?
What time is it?
It's 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay. We'll be in about like 2 hours.
Where we at, Matt?
2 hours and 45.
40?
2 hours.
And 40?
25.
25?
What's your normal podcast length?
It's about this.
Nice. That's it, man. Well, is there any other issues you want to talk about?
That we want to jump into?
Bros.
No, dude, I liked everything that we touched on.
It's just a little bit of bits and pieces of my life.
Yeah, dude, let's definitely,
life, you know?
let's just definitely do this again.
Yeah, maybe sometime down the future, like a year or so, you know. I want to let it marinate for a little bit, you know.
But sure. And that's usually how long it takes before I have people on, you know. It's like sometimes, unfortunately, it's like 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
But I like the year thing because it's just enough to be able to.
How did this guy change? You know?
Like that. Evolution.
Remember when I initially asked, like, is it cool if I get someone else to come on with me? I said Rafi, and then I go Rafi, and it's like, dude, I was on there twice. I was like, what? You know? I was like, oh yeah, you were. Okay, let's go. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, man, and you know, we may have like jumped around into a lot of different things, and maybe a lot of it was maybe surface level type.
That's cool to bring up topics for people to listen to.
Yeah,
you know, I know a lot of people wanted me to talk about conspiracies, but I'm not gonna do that, man. Bro,
you'll save it.
Bros, man.
Save it. But thank you, dude. Thank you for setting this up. Thank you to Melker, Manabusen, for even just letting us being here. Originally, like we said, we were supposed to be outside, enjoying the ambiance and the sunset. That was,
it would have been nice. It would have been really nice.
And the rain, it was pouring super
Tigers and
hard,
wolves, man.
Dude,
Gross.
like I think the hardest. I was even telling Matt, I was like, pulling out of the store, I was like, maybe the podcast gods would bless us with the clear skies. No, this is perfect.
Yeah, man.
You know, and
well, you're welcome to, like, you know, just a request to use this space again in the future. You know, I'm pretty sure Melker supports this and everything.
Yeah, man. And I was thinking about it too. I was like, somehow I, you know, I find ways to cross paths with Melker. Yeah, and it's like cool to me. You know what I mean? With BJ, when I had BJ on the podcast, I texted Melker. I was like, hey man, you know, like, can I get BJ on the podcast? He's like, yeah, I can help.
As much as I work for him, he's also like kind of like, he's like not a father figure, but just like a mentor for sure. Yeah. You know, like I have a handful of people I can say who are my mentors, and they know who they are. And then, you know, some more than others, you know, and some in the professional side, some more in the street level, you know, stuff like that. That's why, like, for me, I just don't have any fears, man.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, you helped me link up that you know, that relationship with Melker the first time when I had Melker on the podcast, right, over at the
OCC studio, office, right? Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just really cool after all that time, 3 years, right, between BJ and then before COVID. You know, I was trying to get the headphones that I use, right, to use for Brawl It didn't pan out, but even fucking
Bro,
7 months later.
In the future, I'll really want to see if we could hire you so you can do our post-fight stuff where you would talk to the fighter like this.
Okay.
That would be fucking awesome.
That'd
man.
be
Like,
dope.
So I've like, before it gets too far into it, we fucking, like, I've seen how Ryzen works. You know, when we travel to Japan, I travel with like Roki or Kyle to go shoot their fights and stuff like that. And it's just cool to see how the production is on their level. So in terms of where I'm going to leave like myself right now on this podcast is I have plans in the future to try to figure out how I can make a submit work. You know, our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Nogi or grappling, like, you know, it's just a submission only tournament that we have. Or not tournament, but matchups. How we can make Brawl work during the pandemic or stuff like that. Not right now, in the future. And then we've already said that we're not going to do any more events for EIF this year. So, you know, it is what it is, you know, and I definitely, people think that I'm only a photographer and videographer, but it's literally photography and videography comprises about 30% of what I do. You know, I'm such more than that. And now that I feel like I'm in a position where I can push further with my experiences. Like, I've seen things happen. I know how things fuck up. I know where to see an outlier now. Of course, I'm going to fuck up in the future more. I'm going to fail. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to learn new outliers to look out for.
Right.
But I'm in a position where I feel comfortable if I just stick to the path and remain responsible with my life, you know? And that's what I feel like everyone should do is just be responsible for your own life. If you're fucking having a hard time at home and you need some fresh air, go to the fucking beach, man. You know, like, don't live in that fear. Like, just do what you need to do.
Get out of the house.
Yeah, you know, go get fucked up, like, you know, like drinking outside your house and listen to some music and crash the fuck out. You know, like, you know, if you need to do that, bro. But it just don't live in fear. You know, life is too short. You know.
Yeah.
Imagine if we just lived like this whole time and then just something happens and then we just had nothing good happen like the last 4 months. You know, just try to make your best out of your life right now. Worry about the things you can control and try to help others and just be I don't know what the word is for this. A mensch isn't the right word. That's a word that Ben Shapiro coined, I believe, or something like that. You know what a mensch is?
No.
Just someone who lives nobly.
Okay.
And stuff like that. But people absolutely hate Ben Shapiro too. But anyways, just be a fucking good
I've listened
person.
to some of his shit. I listened to those podcasts.
Be a fucking good person, guys, and helping others out, even if you don't agree with them. That's all I have to say, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for setting this up and having us down here. And yeah, I'm not gonna mention yet.
Yeah.
For the reasons why we're doing it not in the studio, but
Yeah.
it's news that will come soon, imminently.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Got you,
Hopefully I
brother.
get to share it soon.
Yeah, man. That's great, bro. Appreciate
Brother,
that.
thank you.
Thank you, bro.
And thank you for listening to another episode of the podcast over here.
2020, baby.
Over here at the garden. Thank you. Shout out to Melker for letting us use this space and letting it happen, making it happen. And Kin, thank you for doing this. Let's do this again. A year? You want to do a year?
Yeah,
from
it
now?
would be good.
October?
What about our birthday next year?
Okay,
Right,
we'll do our birthday.
We'll try to run that back.
Yeah,
man.
so me and Kin originally tried to plan this for our birthdays on our birthday.
We're both born on September 9th.
Yeah.
It's fucking pretty crazy. Also, shout out Tomas Rojas.
Yeah, Tomas Rojas also shares that day with us. So we'll do it again. And thank you for listening. And as always, I love you. Maddie loves you. Peace out.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode with Joaquin Pangelinan. Very fun episode. There was a lot going on, and I want to focus on some things in less than a year when I get him back on. A lot of changes are going to happen on American politics and Guam politics. It'll be interesting to get his viewpoints. So a couple of things: go out and vote, do it, and support the podcast wherever you can. If you can, leave a rating and review. Please do so. It helps. That's the coolest thing to do. Other than that, take care of yourself. Take your vitamins. Let's beat this pandemic. Do what you need to do to keep yourself safe and happy. Other than that, let's keep doing it. Until next time. See ya.